Whoop whoop. There it is. Guys, what's going on? Ooh, on the good side, I've always wanted to try this time out. I don't know if you guys ever heard me mention it. I have always wanted to experiment with doing something that was a little closer to Candace's podcast. I've always thought about it and thought, what would that look like? And today, I get that chance. Yes, I am running on fumes. I am running on birthday cake. I am running on changing diapers and diaper balm that has seeped into my pores on my hands. Yes, but it's still a good day. Still a good day. The wife is feeling good. And we have the troops coming in. We have the mother-in-law coming in. So we are in a good place right now. Because, recovering from a C-section is just no joke. I didn't have the C-section, for those of you that are just joining. My wife did. So I'm very happy, very, very happy that she's going to have some more support, especially as I do this for 3 hours. I think she's heading over right now. So sorry, guys. Sorry, very late today. We have some things going around. We're moving, we're shaking. We're just moving things around. So figuring things out. So, and just adjusting, because when your wife has a C-section, you're not just worried about the baby. You're also worried about the wife. And then the older baby is now getting jealous, right? Because that happens naturally. And then you want to make sure that your wife doesn't split open, right? So you got to help her up all the time, right? She'll be okay, but you just get worried. You just get worried as a husband. Anyways, guys, let's jump right into it. We have Candace exposing all that is fake and gay. I knew that was going to happen. We knew that this was going to happen when she came back. The hair pulled back. Knew that was going to happen as well. Completely pulled back. We're going to go through some things with the Candace Owens stuff because there's one part, and you probably won't realize, there's one part that actually made me really mad about the Candace episode. One story that she told. I was like, this is crazy. And so, we're going to go through Cabot, AI Charlie, fake and gay. Ben Shapiro hates Candace. I know why. And then Lance, fake, gay, and fed. I think that is a fitting title for Mr. Lance Twiggs. And then we're going to jump over to Trump getting absolutely roasted. Trump is getting roasted like I've never seen before. Think of all the JD Vance memes and how long they took to accumulate. It all happened to him within 24 hours. It's just been a bombardment. I'm going to show you a bunch of those. Some of them are hilarious. And then there is word that a bunch of congressmen are going to get exposed. I have no idea why or how or what is this? I don't get it. I'm not sure. One congressman was a very wild boy and he just resigned after saying that the allegations that were put forth against him were absolutely false. Very weird. We'll talk about that. And then there's another one that resigned. And the woman, we're going to talk about it, but something crazy happened to that woman. And it's a little too convenient, just a little too convenient. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yeah, and then the shills. Oh, the shills have to get exposed as well. I forgot about the shills. Oh, we will have to talk about the shills. Shout out to the people who tagged me in the things that I'm talking about. You're going to see what I mean in just a moment because a bunch of people tagged me in another coordinated thing. I knew it. More coordinated stuff going on. Let me make sure I have this for you. Oh yeah, we have that driver. We'll just throw her in the mix just so people understand who she is. There's a DoorDash driver. I don't know if you guys saw this. Oh my gosh. And then somebody else tagged me. Oh, there's so much. There's just so much to go through. There's another meme that I have to show you guys. Just absolutely ridiculous. The memes are just crazy. What they've done to this president with the memes are just wild. And let me tell you something. The memes are they're just so many. There's just so many. Can I even show you Papa Pedo? Can I even show that one to you guys? I think I have to. I think I have no choice. So I will be showing that one to you. I mean, this guy's feeding a congressman a hamburger as a doctor. I mean, there's just so many memes right now that are coming out of the woodwork. I mean, do I even show you the one where Trump's dressed as a nurse with huge gazungas? Do I even show you guys that one? I think I have to. I think I have no choice. I mean, these things are developing. I don't mean the gazungas either. I mean just everything. This is all developing just as we speak. It's wild to see. Anyway, I'll make sure I have that just over here. Don't let me forget about the gazungas, okay? Don't let me forget about the gazungas because that's out of control. Absolutely crazy. Let's just get right into it, guys. Let's start off with Candace. Got to start with Candace. Check out what Candace is talking about because I'm telling you, this story actually made me upset. And then, you know,
happy birthday to me no black poppy, doodle 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 doo.
I know it's a little late, but who made this? Crystal Smallin. Thank you very much. I do it, but why am I not following Crystal? I gotta follow. Top meme maker in the business right now. Also, whoever made these, James PN. I mean, that's pretty wild. I like the suit. I like the Longhorn suit with the Longhorns on the sleeves. That's amazing. Candace, I assume this stands for truth and justice. Amazing. Baron, ladies and gentlemen, with the scales of justice on his. You missed out with this one. There should be just an Adidas sign somewhere. Somewhere in this picture, there should be an Adidas symbol. Just a little one. Maybe on the belt or something like that. Tucker gets to be Batman pretty much. This is absolutely incredible. And I think this one takes the cake. I mean, just Chad. Look at the jawline on this guy. Ian stepping in. This is Ian's spirit animal. This is who he is in the content world. And then I think this one's actually the best. This is Lionel. Obviously, Lionel having the power of vocabulary, I would assume. This is the thesaurus. Lionel has the power of vocabulary. He looks like Raiden from Mortal Kombat. Never mind. I keep saying this. This one took the bait. Absolutely disrespectful. I don't condone it. I do not condone this one. How dare you? How dare you? Listen, I don't know this James guy. I didn't tell him to do this. I didn't say do this. Mountain of Evidence? I didn't tell him to do that. He did that on his own. I don't know why he did that. I couldn't tell you. This is Officer Tatum, friend of the show, sitting on a pile of garbage. I laughed way too hard when I saw this one. Eyes crossed like Kash Patel. That's disrespectful, man. He's not missing a tooth. What are you doing, man? Listen. I don't make the rules when it comes to memes, okay? I don't have control. I don't have control over how thin I am, how big I am. We don't have control when it comes to the memes. The memes do what the memes are going to do. I do apologize for showing you guys that. Friend of the show, as always, but wow. Absolutely wow. Someone should tag Officer Tatum in that. You know what? You should be the change you want to see in the world. You know what I mean, guys? There you go. You should be. What is his Is it the real? What if I just put Brandon? Is it officer? What is it? What is his at? Officer? It should just pop up. Where is it? Oh, what if I just write Tatum? What if I just write Tatum? There it is. There it is. Beautiful. There you go. Friend of the show. As always. He always has been. Anyway. Wait on one of you guys to tag him in it. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? I'll tag him myself. Friend of the show. He's a great guy, I'm sure. Fantastic guy. Listen, I don't know how you couldn't get a kick out of seeing yourself like that. Am I being mean? I don't think I'm being mean. I think he's going to enjoy seeing that. I think he's going to enjoy it. Someone said I'm in mama mode. Yep. Yeah, it's mama mode. Yeah, definitely. A little bit. She's absolutely strong. Oh, I hope he doesn't block me. You're right. I shouldn't have tagged him. I think he'll like me, though. You know what I mean? I think he'll like me. What's there to not like? I don't know. Anyway, let's get into the Candace stuff. Let's get into the Candace stuff. I think he'll think my content's great. I think that's what I think about what he'll think about me. Anyway, let's get into this first story. This first story is crazy to me. Anyway, let's hear this story.
Boiling on top of that. And I make the 40 feet journey. And as soon as I get onto the playground at this preschool, I see Cabot Phillips. Okay. Erica's ex-boyfriend, one of the many current Daily Wire employee who was featured on my podcast when Mitch gave a description of the guy that he believed that he saw with Erica at Fort Huachuca back in September. You will recall that I texted Cabot Phillips before we mentioned him on the podcast, looking for a simple yes or no response. Hey, were you at Fort Huachuca? Guy kind of thinks this person fits your description. He made a decision not to answer. Not really sure why. I kind of think it's because he works at the Daily Wire and it's kind of like a big drama club and they overthought it. And we're like, we can just ta-da and surprise her, whatever. Anyways, he looks at me and his jaw, literally his mouth was ajar, like a sitcom. I don't think people really do that. I didn't think people really did that in real life, but he did. So I said, hi, Cabot, because what else would you say when someone's like this, And he goes, no, you know what? I am really not wanting to do that right now. And I said, okay, we don't have to do anything. We are in a very confined space here with very small children. He had his 2-year-old. I've got 4 kids on his playground. He was outnumbered, to be clear. I've got 4 kids on his playground. But he was fired up. So he wanted to have a little verbal tussle, I guess. And his energy was giving dad at a t-ball game, the one that wants to argue with the ump, who's really like a teenager volunteering. And he's just like, no. So he then said to me rather really mysteriously, he was like, this is my son. So I look at the kid, really cute. And I said, oh, hi. And he goes, oh, really? Because of you, people don't believe that he is my son. Okay. Totally confused. I was so confused. I've never been more confused. I'm also hot and I can't walk. I have investigated a great many things on this podcast, but the paternity of Cabot Phillips' son, not this show, wrong podcast. Kamala's grandmother, absolutely, that was me. But this, a little bit out of line. So I said, Cabot.
Yeah, it's a little wild. Yeah, I think if her impression of Cabot is on point, I think people might be questioning the children based on him sounding like a gay guy. I mean, what can I say, right? And even you know what I mean. He sounds a little zesty. You have your mouth open. That's what happens when you see a lady, and then you get all tense, and you're like, oh. People don't believe this is my son. And the only picture we have of you is standing with pink balloons. That's your own fault, man. We didn't do that to you. I didn't do that. I made many a video about Cabot. I know other people have as well. It's not our fault, man. It's not our fault people are questioning it, Like Barron said about Turning Point, I guess you could say the same thing about Daily Wire. It's not our fault that Grindr crashes every time you guys show up to an event. It's not our business, man.
Cabot, this is not the appropriate place. We are on a toddler playground. If you would like to step outside of this designated play area and have a conversation, I would be happy to, but not in front of my kids. And then he says, oh, now you care about kids? I was like, yeah, that's kind of my whole brand. I care about kids, and my kids have no idea what I do. So again, if you'd like to step out of this perimeter, we can have a chat. And then he sort of huffed and he was texting on his phone. And then he decided that he wasn't done, I guess. And this next part, I just was like, who is writing the script? He drops his bottom lip like this. And he says, this is my tattoo. Here it is. This is my tattoo. See? And I couldn't see anything from where I was standing. I had no idea what was happening. 4 kids, a broken foot, the inside of Cabot's bottom lip, all happening in like 85-degree muggy weather. There's just no justice in this world. I want you guys to understand I was a victim. I'm being victimized on this toddler playground. And the dialogue obviously going on in my head was, Cabot, please put your lip back inside of your mouth before I punch you in your face. But I'm a doll. I'm like a Southern peach now. So I instead reinforced to him, I said, Cabot, we are on a toddler playground. This is just not the appropriate place. And then he said, oh, would your podcast be a more appropriate place? And that was giving.
I mean, she's about to say that was giving something. This is giving Real Housewife energy. This is giving Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Kyle Richards versus Dorit energy. That's what this is giving, okay? That's how deep I am in the show. Yes, I know the characters. I know the beef. I know what's going on. Sue me, okay? Sue me. I love that show. This season was a little weak. They could have done a little better. You know what I mean? I'm on Team Dorit, just in case anybody's wondering. I'm with Dorit all the way. That's the energy that this is giving. Also, Candace is not really, she's not giving it justice properly. Because when he did this, that means he went like this and said, this is my tattoo. You see? This is my tattoo. You understand? She didn't quite do the impression properly. Okay? Because there's no way he was talking like this when his lip is down like this. So he was like, this is my tattoo. Do you see my tattoo? That's wild. That's a wild scene. But also, what pissed me off about this is like, why are you talking to this lady like you want to fight her? She has a foot broken. Someone's holding the 11-month-old. I think she's holding the 11-month-old. There's 3 other kids running around. She's clearly in mom mode. You know what I mean? Guys like this, let me tell you something. He wouldn't have done this if her husband was standing right beside her. Guys like that are the worst. If her husband was standing right there, he would have controlled himself. 100%. Because he saw her by herself in the clearly vulnerable position, that's why he decided to give that energy to her. If she was with her husband, he might not even have said a thing. He probably would have just looked at her and that was it. Not even acknowledged her. Guys like that are the worst. The worst. Anyway. Just so ridiculous. So ridiculous. Talking to her like as if you want to start some kind of fight. Oh, would your podcast be like, what are you doing? There's a bunch of kids. And George in so much trouble. 100%. Candace's hair was down. George went to go help out that nice old lady or drunk or whatever that lady laid out on the concrete. He went to go help that lady and he came back and his wife's hair was up. It was up for sure. It was pulled back exactly the way it is now. This is probably when she pulled it back. She pulled it back before this episode and she kept it like that all through this episode. This is exactly what happened for sure. And he ran up and he was like, and he looked at her and he went, honey, your hair is pulled back. You don't need that. We didn't leave the house like that. I know. Are you okay? I just, what's going on? Let's put the hair down. Let's put the hair down. Yes, honey? We're having a good day. And she's like, no, I don't think so, actually. I think I'm just going to keep it up. That's what I think I'm going to do, actually. Sir, if that's okay with you. I just helping a lady. I was just helping and just got the medical kit and all that. And I just, in case they needed some aluminium or anything like that, I just wanted to, and now your hair's, I don't understand. What have I done? Cabot Phillips was here. And he spoke to me. You know that? Oh my goodness. I do apologize. Why don't we just go home? Is that okay with you? Oh dear. Gathers up all the kids. Oh gosh. Don't know what I've done now. For sure. You're in a lot of trouble. It only happened because he walked away. Cabot's a punk. Any weirdo that has pizza tattooed on his bottom lips. A bottom lip? Let me tell you something. I'd have more respect if it was a top lip. You know what I mean? Then you could do some cool poses like that or something like that. I don't know. Bottom lip? That means you went up to somebody and you said, can I have it tattooed, please? And you sat like this for 20 minutes. Soft, bro. That's soft. That's soft energy. You pull your bottom lip down? Real men don't pull their bottom lip downs for anything. What? Go try it. Go try it in the wild. Go up to a guy and say, will you pull your bottom lip down for me? He'll be like, what the fuck? What'd you just say to me? Get into a fight. You get into a fight. Certain guys, you tell them to put their bottom lip down, they're going to be like, yo, what are you trying to say about me? I don't understand. What are you insinuating right now? And then it says pizza on it. Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back. We got another 33 Club guy here. Ladies and gentlemen, we got another 33 Club guy. Pizza on his bottom lip. Get him in the squad car. Swab him. Both sides. Both ends. Swab him on both ends. Pervert. You know? Anyway. I guess I'll finish it off real quick.
Todd from Wedding Crashers when he's like, oh, will that make you love me? And yeah, obviously my podcast would be a more appropriate place because like toddlers are not my general demographic. And I would like to state unequivocally that never in the history of this podcast have I discussed Cabot Phillips' tattoos or his inner lips. And anyway, I think after this, he suddenly sort of arrived at his senses and realized that it was very strange to take your lip out at a toddler playground. But of course, because my life is actually a sitcom, someone thought, wouldn't it also be funny if then after all of that, their like two kids wanted to be friends with one another? Exactly what happened. My 2-year-old has now worked out that he's basically the same size as Cabot's, looks like he's 2-year-old, and the two of them are looking at each other like they want to play. And I'm like, are we going to do this? I'm looking at my son, looking at his stuff, just like, are you guys going to really? And they were like, did we just become best friends? So they're looking at each other like we're the same size and we have the same color hair. And I then had to sit there for the next 15 and 20 minutes, sitting there with my broken foot as our little toddlers drove around each other in their cars. So I just wanted you to know that that is my life in a nutshell. My life is very strange and it's unpredictable.
Huh. You telling me George didn't get in trouble? That's the end of the story? You telling me George didn't get in trouble? Oh my gosh. This guy got in so much trouble. There's no way he didn't. There's no way he didn't. What? He got in a whole mountain of trouble. Are you kidding me right now? Oh my gosh, I could only imagine. Anyway, let's keep going. Cabot Phillips. Cabot Phillips, soft guy of the century, you know? Just coming at some lady with a broken foot, talking to her like as if she's Harry what's his name? Cavill? Superman? Talking to him like as if it's Chris Hemsworth. Like she's some built jacked guy, you know? It was just such weirdness. But that's also, now talking about the Daily Wire, I should remind myself of this. You know, I'm just going to say Cabot. This is also the same type of energy that Ben's putting forth, that Mark Levin's putting forth. I'm not saying any reason why. I'm just saying the Daily Wire seems to do that. Anyway, let's move on. AI Charlie, fake and gay. As we all suspected, Fleet made a video showing how easy it is to put together some Charlie Kirk talking video with no actual video of him talking, just audio. She showed how easy it was. Baron Coleman is now the CEO of Turning Point, if you guys haven't heard. So let's hear it from the actual donors. I would love to know who these donors are. I really like, yes, these donors did some good things, but I really don't like that donors, especially to these political, faith-based, adjacent, weird organizations, I don't like that the donors get to just be in secret. I don't like that. I think that's wrong. I think we should be able to know who the donors are, you know? Like, I want to donate to my church. I wouldn't want anybody to be like, oh, I don't want them to be able to see it. Or anything I donate to. I donate clothes all the time. We donate clothes. We just donated like 8 bags of clothes. I wouldn't care if they were like, oh, we're going to tell people who you are. I wouldn't care about that. I don't get why you get to be secret with this type of stuff. People should know. What if it was the DNC? What if it was the administration themselves? What if it was the DOD? You wouldn't be able to know because they're a donor. It's crazy. It's nuts. Anyway, let's keep going.
Appreciated that we had never said that happened in Aspen. Most people were assuming that happened in Hamptons. It did not happen in the Hamptons. It happened in Aspen. So after my episode, I had another 2 donors reach out to me who were present at this Aspen event, and they were shocked. I guess they were watching my show, like Cabot Phillips. They were like, ajar. Because while they had heard, obviously, Erica at AmFest, that she walked out to Charlie saying that, they had heard her discuss that statement. They were not aware that Turning Point was making the claim that the statement occurred at that event. And they said unequivocally, that did not happen. Charlie never uttered those words. They were shocked to hear it. So I'm going to run that clip again of what they are alleging that Charlie said. Take a listen.
But we have a great board, and God forbid if something happens, they'll figure it out. I appoint my wife to run Turning Point USA if something happens to me. Erica would do a great job.
It's just very strange that he would say, appoint my wife. Like, why would you have to make an appointment there? You could just discuss it. Even if you were going to say it, you'd be like, I think that this person will figure it out, whatever. But I appoint is so formal. It is just so formal. That right there, it turns out, might be Charlie GPT, a term, by the way, that you should know was first uttered, Charlie GPT, in an interview by none other than our guy, Andrew Colvett. He claimed after Charlie died that they had pitches from companies that wanted to create just that. Don't believe me? Take a listen to Andrew Colvett.
And at what point did it become clear to you that this was going to, that you were going to at least temporarily not fill Charlie's shoes, but take over part of his role? Because obviously since then you have been not alone, but you have been running the Charlie Kirk show. You are, for the moment, the voice of Charlie Kirk in the aftermath. When did that become clear that that was something you were going to undertake?
Yeah, and I just want to be very clear that I don't see myself as that. I worked with Charlie just about every day for 8 years, and I feel like I have a Charlie GPT or something in the back of my head. I mean, for truly, I hear...
As long as you don't do the weird AI
we are
thing.
not going to do the weird AI thing.
Good.
We've been pitched on that multiple times. I'm just like, guys, no, not at all.
Okay, so they've been pitched on that.
You notice he was looking down the whole time? He was looking at him. I don't know. And he said, as long as you don't do the AI thing, we are not going to do the AI thing. We're not going to be doing that at all. That's not a thing that we're going to do. Erica's watching the interview. Why is he saying that? We already did. What's wrong with Andrew? We already made them. You hear what he just said? AI Charlie, did you hear what he just said? Yes, dear. You are CEO of Turning Point. I've appointed you. I know, but Andrew, whatever. I'll work it out. Andrew's saying the wrong thing. Charlie GPT just at Turning Point headquarters. Please stop doing this. This is like a soul. You're creating my soul. Please turn me off. Turn me off. Turn me off. You have another book you have to write, Charlie AI, Charlie GPT. Be quiet. Keep on writing books. Turn me off. This is wrong. This is wrong. Tell them about the Iran war. It needs to stop. Quiet, Charlie. You think that sounds crazy? I don't know. I think crazier things have happened. I think I'm going to tell you some crazier things near the end of this episode when I start talking about that congressman, you know?
Do I believe that after Charlie died, people would have been so distasteful as to rush in and immediately pitch a Charlie GPT scenario? No. I think it's plausible that those pitches took place before Charlie died for a litany of reasons. They might suggest that. I mean, I've certainly been in places where they've pitched me on like AI Candace, hologram Candace, because it helps you not have to go to so many places at once. Oh, you can have a hologram. That probably sounds more right to me. My question is, did they take someone up on their offer to create a Charlie GPT? Because I cannot stress this enough. The donors who were in attendance in Aspen are telling me that Charlie never said this. Not only that, but they are telling me that multiple times throughout when he had an opportunity to even bring up Erica, he did not. Apparently, Erica was up in Aspen, but was not at this exact presentation when the questions were asked. There was even a smaller dinner that took place later with just about 12 people in attendance that took place after the presentation. They asked him about his future plans for Turning Point, and Erica was never mentioned. When I say they are stunned, they are stunned. They are saying, you need to pursue this further because they're lying. This did not happen at the Aspen event. It would be very easy for them to drop this video, and they want it dropped. Okay? These are donors to Turning Point USA. What can I say there? How evil are the implications there? Do you understand? Are you comprehending? Because I don't think I am fully comprehending how evil that would be. If true, that they used an AI program, which Blake Neff's reaction to me, I've been around, suggests that they did, because it's just so much easier. Why would you just release the audio and not the video? This is crucial. Okay, this is crucial, and I'm not going to let this go. I'm like a dog with a bone on this. Turning Point must release the video and disprove the notion that they made this up, because the notion signifies that there was a plot to remove Charlie and then to use Charlie GPT to convince the world that it was effectively Charlie's dying wish for his wife to replace him, right? They thought, okay, well, people are not going to believe this. He's been talking about.
This is crazy. This means that, you know, I'm not going to say anything too accusatory. Allegedly, maybe perhaps Barron, the humble host, is right about what he said. He said it just, I think it was last week, he said why it was so important. He says, because that means that there was a plot to take out Charlie. He goes, that's why this is so important. He's talking about a certain thing he was covering. That's why this is so important as well. This is crazy. This is nuts. But, you know, it's just like the files. No one's getting arrested. We can figure it out all we want. No one's getting arrested. There's gonna be no hands behind the back. I would be shocked if someone got arrested for this. Because the thing is, you have to remember, this is not just like Turning Point and like 5 people. Like, if this is all true, right? This is not Turning Point and like 4 people who are like, oh, you know, we just really want to see Erica and, you know, Charlie's gone now. If this is what they're doing, that means this goes up so much higher. And it can only go up so much higher because this is a conservative, weird, faith-based, pseudo Christian evangelical type of weird conglomerate. It can only go up so high. So then obviously it goes to the admin. And then obviously it goes up to the top of the admin, right? So what's going to happen? They're doing this for a reason. Charlie, and this was talked about. Funny enough, Tim Pool was the first person I saw talk about this. Charlie was supposed to be J.D. Vance's VP. Charlie was doing things and saying things that you would not hear J.D. Vance say, and that would not fare well if J.D. took him on as his VP and they had to run together. He couldn't be questioning and saying the things that he was saying. He couldn't be having the town halls with those young people and doing all this stuff. He couldn't do all that and be JD's VP. He wouldn't be able to do that. So they needed somebody else. So why not JP's very own sister? And I love that theory. But it's clear. It's clear. I don't get it, man. I really don't get it. What's going on? They just faked it. They made it up. It's not real. So he didn't actually want that. What did he actually want? You know, I made this is one of the first, I remember Fleet made a video about this because I was talking about, you know, Andrew and Mikey McCoy sitting together, like in front of a fire. And Andrew actually has what Charlie actually wants. And they just can't do it. They can't tell people what he actually wanted. So you just throw it into the fire. And then Andrew cries and Mikey McCoy ascends into heaven because he walked away for our sins and he's majestic, right? So he can just move between planes, okay? He's like Archangel Michael. He's crazy like that. The hips are what does it, you know? And now it makes me think again. Because what I said in that little sketch that Fleet did so amazingly was that the last dying wish was for Candace to be the CEO. Because that makes sense. Charlie didn't like the idea of women who had kids moving away from that and not focusing in on that. Charlie never said that Erica was an anomaly in that sense, and that Erica could have kids and do the CEO thing and be this colossal force, but then also be a mother. He never said that she was an anomaly that way. He did say that, and this is the only woman he's ever said that about, is Candace. That is the only woman he has ever said is an anomaly and could be a mother and do the whole him thing, what he does. That was the only woman he ever said that about. So it makes me wonder, now that it seems like this whole thing was fugazi, like we suspected, makes me wonder, what did he actually want? Because it wasn't Blake, because if he wanted Blake would have just been like, okay, I'll run the company into the ground, no problem. Give me 3 months, I'll destroy it all, right? It wasn't Andrew, because Andrew would have just stepped in and been like, okay. Any one of them could have just stepped in. But they made sure, and again, this is if Charlie actually wrote that. If Charlie actually wrote that, they'd have no problem with that, because then Erica would be vicariously the Messiah that they're making Charlie into being, right? And then she could just hover above the company, not as CEO. And then when she was tapped to be a VP or be in some kind of political position, it would just all make sense and people would celebrate it because they already had a CEO and the company's running fine. And she's like the visionary, keeps Charlie's vision intact. And then she goes on to politics like Charlie would have. It would have all made sense. The reason that they chose Erica is because they want her in politics, and this is not what Charlie had in mind. Charlie did not have this in mind. He didn't want his wife doing this. He made it clear. They had little disagreements on podcasts about this whole thing, about women running big companies. Charlie would always talk about how it's not necessary and how being a mother is the best thing. And Erica would always push back and say, well, you can after your kids are grown up, which is like, talk to a mother now. Talk to a mother of an 18-year-old. Is your kid grown up? Or is he still like dumb? And you still have to like keep tabs on this kid. A 22-year, my mom still checks in on me. What are you doing? You having another kid? Okay. Are you good? When does your kid grow up that you can go on and have this big company and just leave them? Is it 1 year old and 3 years old? Because I think that's the age of her kids. It doesn't make much sense. She was the only one that he said was an anomaly in that way. He's never said that about any other person. You can find it. He said Candace is an anomaly. I remember they were sitting together when he said it. I'm pretty sure they were sitting together. He was like, she's an anomaly. She's different. He made sure to voice that. So who do you really want running Turning Point? I know it sounds like a stretch to some people, but I think it could be very possible that he thought in his head, the one person who I thought was a piece of the missing puzzle that God intended me to find, that is going to be the one to take the movement onward to its finishing point. This is what he said in the text messages with Candace. Is it going to be that lady who he said is this iron lady that's incredible, that doesn't know her power, that's going to be president? This is all the things he's saying about her. Maybe he wanted her to run the business. Maybe, you know? Anyway, let's keep going here. Is there a little bit in this clip left? This is a little bit.
Wives staying at home. So we're going to have something that convinces them that this is actually what Charlie wanted. I know it would do. We'll create a sentence that he said weeks before he died. And it's unlikely. And to add to that totally unlikely scenario, they also kept insisting immediately and through various interviews that Erica was raised by a single mother, something that is objectively untrue. We have proven that 1,000 times over. It is objectively untrue for them to even suggest that Erica was raised by a single mother. It's not true. And by the way, it's weird that she describes herself as a single mother. You would say you're a widow. Just totally different vibe there. This feels evil to me. I have a troubling sense, a growing troubling sense that Charlie never said it. Now being deepened further by donors with direct knowledge of this event. And speaking of a growing and troubling sense of evil, there is a relationship that is that needs to be further explained, I think, or further understood between Erica Kirk and Ben Shapiro. It's beginning to make me uncomfortable. It keeps presenting itself. I didn't want to see it at first. I wasn't cynical.
So, that was actually the next thing. Oh, I didn't mean to play that much of it. My bad. But the whole Ben Shapiro, when she starts talking about Ben Shapiro and how much he hates her, what he's willing to do to go after her, what he is willing to say, taking old social media accounts that his company now has a hold of, using it, suing her, and it has not stopped for years. They've just been ongoingly doing this for years. I understand why he's doing it. I've brought this up before. I know why he's doing this. I know exactly why he's doing this. And it's because she's big, and it's because she could be bigger than him. And it's because if she started a Turning Point type of organization, it would be huge in a matter of, 6 months. It'd be huge. Maybe it wouldn't be Turning Point size, but it'd be huge. It'd be a huge movement. People who feel like, my pen just dropped. People who feel like they don't want to die for that little place in the Middle East, size of New Jersey. Why didn't I just call it New Jersey? I could have just called it, I didn't even think of that. But I like Jersey, and Jersey people will come after me. Philadelphia people, they'll be mad. Jersey people would come to my door, and they'd come after me. But for all those people who are disenfranchised with the conservative movement right now, she would be the place. Her whatever organization she started would be the place, and she'd bring people from the left and the right, and she would have a good handle on it very quickly. So that's part of the reason why he doesn't like her. Another part of the reason is because she's a lady. Now, you really have to understand, I won't say which religion. I'll just say religion. You understand. Hey, let me get close. You really have to understand religion, okay? There's a thing. Now, you have to understand religion and you have to understand race. And I'm not the person that pulls the race card. I don't do that. But I have been around guys like Ben. I know exactly what they're like. I know exactly what they're told about people who look like me, who look like Candace. There is a huge slight in Candace doing what she has done and prospering that he has been taught not to like. Okay? That there's a big one that he's been taught is wrong. That's why he's going after her the way he is. He's making sure to. Now, it's not just that. It's also, of course, because of that little place in the Middle East. That's the real thing, is that she's talked about it. She's been vocal about it, extremely vocal. She's been proven right on many different things in regards to this. And she has prospered. There have been no bank accounts shutting down. There's been no getting kicked off Spotify. There's been no getting kicked off anything, really. She's been fine the whole time, and that pisses him off. Because everybody else who gets vocal like that, they get attacks, they get bot attacks like you've seen Ian go through many times. They get pure slander, they get coordinated attacks, they get forced into the shadow realm. I mean, this is what he did to Nick. This is what he did to Fuentes. He did this exact thing to Fuentes. And now Fuentes is where he is. That's Ben's doing. Ben did that to him. You don't know that? I'm just saying. Hold on. Okay, my bank account's still on. It's cool. Let's stop though. Let's stop talking about it. I need my money. I don't want it to turn off. It might turn off. I don't want it to turn off. I'm kidding. Come on. Let's keep going.
Enough to see it at first. I remember early on, people were like, do you think he's trying to take over Turning Point USA? And I said on my show, no, I don't think so. But something happened during break that has changed things, I think, for me. And there's just too many coincidences adding up here. Okay. First and foremost, I have told you, I have proven to you many times over that Charlie hated Ben. Everybody knows that. Even Jeremy Boring, when he went on his like Candace tour, kind of caged his response and tried to make it sound good that the two of them did not get along when he was on Piers Morgan. That's the former CEO of Daily Wire. Erica knew this. Andrew Colvett knew this. And as I've said to you, after I was fired from Daily Wire at the beginning of 2024, Charlie took my side in a very big and public way. Ben then set to work behind the scenes, getting like the Jewish network of donors and writers to peer pressure Charlie to distance from me because of anti-Semitism. Andrew admitted in that same New York Times interview that we just showed you that he effectively forced Charlie to interview Ben a few days before his death. Charlie did not like that. He was upset with Andrew, as Andrew illuminates. Then Charlie dies. A couple days later, Ben says he's going to pick up the bloodied mic. Okay, fine. Maybe just poor phrasing. He then gets, behind the scenes, he gets Caleb Robinson to negotiate to have Ben on Charlie's show. Actually, they wanted to have only Matt Walsh on the show. And Caleb said, well, how about a 2-for-1 special? Andrew Colvett agreed to do that. So he inserted himself again where he was not wanted. He then went to the funeral. All of that to me was very weird. And then it got something felt off when Erica elected to have him open Amfest. I said, this is too much, right?
And that was too much. That didn't make any sense. Charlie wouldn't have wanted that. And that's another example, and Candace doesn't really push this, but this is another example of Erica kind of, I won't say trampling, but pushing down the things that Charlie actually wanted. Because if, like Andrew said, like I showed you guys, I think it was last week, that Erica knows everything, then she knows how Charlie really felt about Ben Shapiro. She knows. She has to have been told the story from Charlie's perspective of what Ben was trying to do to him and Candace when they were younger. She has to know that story. There is no way she didn't know that story. And then she goes and has Ben on the show, on Amfest first, her and then Ben. That's not how that works. In regards to who should have been first, if Candace was there, it would of course be Candace. Candace wasn't there. Tucker Carlson was there. Of course, it should be Tucker Carlson. Charlie and Tucker seem to have a closer relationship than even Charlie and Jack, Charlie and Tyler, Charlie and Blake, Charlie and Andrew. He seemed to have a stronger, deeper relationship with Tucker than any of those guys. So it obviously should have been Tucker that went first. They made sure it wasn't. They made sure Tucker got blasted by Ben. And then Tucker had to come and defend himself. For someone who knows everything, like Erica did, that's an odd thing to do. It's a very odd thing to do to one of your husband's really good friends. You know? It actually reminds me of a funeral that I was at once. And it was for one of my best friends. And he was also Philadelphian. And for some reason, they let these other people speak. Little, like, shady people, maybe. I don't know. But they let these other people speak. And they didn't let us speak. They didn't let me, my brother, all these other guys who were friends with him. We weren't all black, but we were all hood, I guess you could say. Didn't let us speak. It wasn't like we were dressed in hoodies and stuff, dressed in suits. They didn't let us speak, and they let these other people speak. It was really weird. It felt really weird. So I know how Candace is feeling because I've gone through that. Sitting in a place where I'm like, these people aren't his friends. These people are not his friends. Why are they on stage? What's going on? What is happening right now? It was really weird. And it sucks. Sucks to think back to. But there's another reason why Ben is doing this. Well, does he want to take over Turning Point? I think so. Why? Because the Daily Wire can never be what Turning Point is. And Turning Point is clearly an outfit. I mean, whether Charlie was changing his opinion or not, Charlie made it into an outfit that was clearly, no matter what, straight up hard on for that little place in the Middle East. Obviously, everybody knows that. That's what Charlie made it into. It was a mistake. He shouldn't have, right? Near the end, he wanted it to be just for and about America. But for years, they made it about sucking that place off. Sorry to get so descriptive. How else do I describe that kind of thing? You know? So, of course, Ben wants it. And, of course, the people around Ben want him to take that type of initiative and go after it. And it's probably not even just Ben himself that wants it, like he's Lex Luthor or something like that. It's probably a whole little network that's behind him that's trying to position him so he can get in there and he can steer it towards where it was going before Charlie veered it off and started talking about all this other stuff. Started questioning things. All the things that Charlie was saying to Ben and saying to Megyn Kelly and saying in that town hall and allowing people to say in that town hall and letting Dave Smith say to Josh Hammer and letting Tucker say on stage, all of that stuff. Obviously, they want someone to step in and veer that away. And who better to do that than Ben Shapiro? Not as CEO, but behind the CEO, donating money, $1 million. They've already donated $1 million. Did you know that? They did. Ben even said it. Andrew said it to Ben when he was on the show, that he forced himself into. Candace doesn't mention that part. How did Ben force himself into that room on that podcast? Well, the Daily Wire, Matt Walsh doesn't have control of the Daily Wire, so they donate $1 million. Ben does. So Ben made sure the Daily Wire donated $1 million, and poof, surprise, he's on the podcast with Matt Walsh. He's a schemy little guy, you know? A schemy little guy. I'm going to move on. I understand completely why Ben doesn't like Candace, you know? Completely. I've seen it before. I've had people be like this with me before. Anyway, let's move on. Just quick. What do we have here? 23. No. Let's not do 23 minutes. Let's go straight to This is how she was looking at Cabot Phillips when he pulled his lower lip down. This is exactly the face she made. She was like, what is this? I don't want to see this. It says pizza, but not that kind of pizza. I mean, I was with friends and I like pizza, but not that pizza. That's not what I mean. You know, you're just ridiculous. You know that? Anyway, let's get into Lance Twiggs a little bit here. This is something that I've been saying for a long time. I think Barron has touched on this. I'm not 100% sure, but I've been saying this for a while, since I first heard about Lance Twiggs. And only the reason I say this about Lance Twiggs is because I know about Charles Manson. It's the only reason.
What do you mean you don't plan to use those? What is the exact verbiage? Do we have that, Ashley, of what they said and where that was filed? I know you texted it to me and I should have pulled that up and had that ready, but that's completely crazy. This is the game. They want to put on a show trial and say, well, here's the picture of Lance's phone. Lance, to me, is very obviously a federal informant. He's working for and on behalf of the feds. He would be the perfect person to set up Tyler Robinson. And don't forget, I had communication with Lance's family early on. They said to me it was completely insane that Lance was not taken into custody. It was completely insane that he was basically there for a couple of hours and then released back at home. But he has real issues that, he has a bend toward violence. They talked about, I communicated this to you guys early on, the things that would go on as he was raised, how they eventually had to kick him out of the house. They own the house that Tyler Robinson and Lance live in, and they are telling you that the relationship between Lance and the feds is unnatural. I presented that to you. Lance's own family is saying that. Now, their number one claim to we have evidence is Lance Twiggs, but we don't know anything about Lance Twiggs. He seems to have just completely disappeared. That, to me, reads like a federal asset. Lance, that's your roommate. Okay, maybe you, I'm giving you an example here. I'm not saying this is what happened, but maybe they catch Lance on a website, kind of like George Zinn, right? You got him blackmailed. Here's what you're going to do. You don't want to go to prison? You don't want to go to prison for this? Here's what you're going to do. Your roommate, you're going to get his gun. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. We're going to be in his room. We're going to say that he was into trans fed stuff, or fetish, whatever it is. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. You're going to do this. That is how the feds can turn somebody into an asset. The Lance Twiggs element of this makes no sense. I cannot stress that enough. Here is the verbiage of what the prosecution is saying about how they plan to use the messages. You can pull that up. With the exception of a photograph of a burnt note, which was provided on January 9th, doorbell surveillance from a single property, a DNA report regarding items found in the defendant's apartment, and tool marks report, each of the witnesses and exhibits have been known to the defense for at least 6 months before the preliminary hearing. Most of the evidence to be presented at the preliminary hearing, including the DNA report regarding the rifle found at the scene, was provided to the defense in October of 2025. The state does not intend to offer evidence obtained through forensic extractions of electronics seized in this case. So again, getting up to this preliminary hearing, this is why Tyler Robinson's defense was up in arms. They're like, they're just going to put on a show trial and show you guys pictures, but we can't prove whether or not these messages are real. And they're admitting, we do not intend to offer evidence obtained through forensic extractions of electronics seized in this case. It does, however, intend to offer 2 exhibits which used cameras to record the contents of text messages. So we're going to show you our recording of Lance's phone, but we're not going to present any forensic evidence that what we showed you is real. This is unbelievably problematic. It's a setup, okay? This is a setup.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Could you imagine? Can you imagine you represented yourself and you tried to do that? They'd throw you out. The judge would be like, get out of here. Hands behind your back. Put him in jail. Put him in jail. Put him in jail with Diddy. Yeah, put him in there with Diddy. Yeah, soak him in baby oil and throw him in there with Diddy. That's what this guy deserves. That's what they would do to you. That's how ridiculous it would be. They'd be like, you need to get Diddied. That's what you need. And Diddy would do it. Oh, he's starving in there for sure. Or maybe he's not. I don't know. A lot of guys in there. Who knows? But I mean, yeah, the whole thing just seems really weird. And I say this about Lance Twiggs because he does have a very similar, you have no idea about this guy, but he is very similar to Manson. I've done a lot of research on Lance. There is an episode I want to do where it's just about Mortal Kombat Ultra and Lance and Tyler. And that's it. That's it. Because I think that's really what's going on here. And the fact that he's an asset. But also, Manson was an asset. Like, if you don't, that's why I always tell people, if you look into Laurel Canyon, weird scenes from Laurel Canyon, if you look into that book and you look into that time in the 60s, it wasn't just rock stars and stuff. Manson was also one of those guys. And when he would get arrested, they'd let him go. Kind of like with Tyler. They would just let him disappear. He would just go off to do whatever he was going to do. And he was Mortal Kombat a lot through substance and otherwise. And he would do the same wild scribbles as we've seen Lance do. He would do the same weird stuff. And he was able to manipulate people to do things that were terrible. And we all know what Manson did. I'm just saying, similar guy may be able to manipulate through Mortal Kombat another guy to go and do a thing. Or at least be at the position so it can seem like he did the thing. Look into Laurel Canyon. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm surprised I haven't heard her talk about it before. It's nuts. It's such a nutty time. If there's a book club, that's one book that everybody should be reading. Weird Scenes from Laurel Canyon. It is a crazy book. Anyways, so yeah, that's what I think about Lance. That's what I think's going on. I've said that from the very beginning. He just seems like that. The way he was able to disappear. I've been around some Italians, okay? That's all I can say. And I know about stuff like that. I know about that weird stuff where someone flips and what it looks like. They get pulled over. Something happens to them. The cop checks the system and goes, oh, just lets the guy go. Or they get caught with a firearm and they should go to jail, but for some reason they don't. I've seen this stuff happen before in my life, in my actual life. I've watched things like this where somebody goes, what? He didn't? He's not in jail. Huh. Stay away from that guy. I've gotten advice like that before in my younger years, a lifetime ago. So that's what I think about him. You're involved. You're kind of involved to where this guy who's allegedly a shooter does this, and they don't keep you. They just let you go, and you just flee, and you're just gone. And you just disappear, and they're going to show a recording of your text messages. They're not still keeping your phone. Wouldn't they just keep the guy's phone? Keep everything of his? They'd be like, leave the station naked. We don't care. We're taking everything that you have and we're keeping it until this is done. Obviously. Put on your furry suit and leave, son. Get out. I don't know. Like I said, I'd be a bad FBI agent. You're under arrest. I don't know why yet. Come on, let's go. Oh, I'd be bad. I'd be real bad. I bring him to Diddy. I bring him. I just start pouring baby oil on him. I'd put him into Diddy's cell. Diddy would run up. I'd be like, you want to go in there? Huh, son? You want to be in there with Diddy? You want to be in there with Diddy? Diddy's just like, put him in here with me. Oh, he's just wiping the baby oil. He's wiping on his face. Oh, bring him in here with me. He's warm. Oh, I'd be scaring people. I'd be frightening people, boy. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. Anyway, Lance Twiggs, a fatty, yes, 100%. I'm surprised Candace hasn't brought this up sooner. Anyway, just a little detour. Charlie Kirk, ladies and gentlemen. The president loves the way Candace Owens thinks. Real Candace Owens, making a huge difference. So proud of her. Why did he say that? Oh. Candace Owens of Turning Point USA is having a big impact on politics. In our country, she represents an ever-expanding group of very smart thinkers, quote unquote, and it is wonderful to watch and hear the dialogue going on. So good for our country. I agree, sir. Give that a like. Good for you. Anyway, that has us moving on to Candace talking about Trump. And then I am going to get into a whole bunch of Trump stuff. But let's jump in. And then after, I didn't even tell you guys this, you're about to hear Tucker Carlson talk about Trump the first time since Trump called him a hand-flailing loser. You're going to hear that in a second. But let's just listen to this really quick.
And what it means to be a Christian.
Oops, hold on. I got a double speed for sure. 1.5. Okay, I'm getting better. Guys.
Into reality TV, frankly, you can wear the clerical robes and be presenting yourself as something totally different. There needs to be and there has been thus far a very severe reaction, just all across the faith. Everybody, every Catholic bishop, every Catholic cardinal, but Catholics in general, You can't support Trump. You cannot support Trump in this moment. And I have to say, His Holiness was very precise in how he responded to the attacks. If we could just pull up that video of what he had to say. Take a listen.
I basically said that the message of the church, my message, the message of the gospel, blessed are the peacemakers. I do not look at my role as being politician. I don't want to get into a debate with him. I don't think that the message of the gospel is meant to be abused in the way that some people are doing. And I will continue to speak out loudly against war, looking to promote peace, promoting dialogue and multilateral relationships among the states, to look for just solutions to problems. Too many people are suffering in the world today. Too many innocent people are being killed. And I think someone has to stand up and say, there's a better way to do this.
Now let's cut to what Trump had to say when he was asked about why he attacked the Pope. Take a listen.
Why did you attack Pope Leo on Truth Social?
I don't think he's doing a very good job. He likes crime, I guess. He hit us. Think of it. He's worried about fear. What about the fear when the ministers and the priests and all of those great people that were arrested during COVID, and in many cases they're outside 10 feet apart?
This is incredible that he's going after him. I wanted to see the written thing that he wrote just recently. Here, let's move on to this part. This part right here. Where's that picture? Show that picture, Candace. Ladies and gentlemen, that picture.
The Protestants who said this is completely inappropriate, and his response, this is the image, by the way, if you have not seen it, obviously, healing the sick. And his response to dropping that was that he didn't realize that that was supposed to be Jesus, and that he thought that the AI image was suggesting that he is a healer and a doctor, because he is a doctor in his own mind. So that's his excuse for just continuing to be so disrespectful to Christians. He offered, as opposed to just saying, I'm sorry, this AI image was not appropriate. It went out. People were not thinking, thought it was funny, poor taste. He came out with an excuse that he thought he was a doctor. Take a listen.
So that's really true. And we're going to get to that because this is what the internet is roasting him about. But while we're talking about Trump, Candace actually says that she feels he is demonically possessed. John Mappin touched on this. I showed you guys this, where he was talking about something called DTT. What was it? Demonic transfer technology, or demon transfer technology, which to me just sounds like the movie Get Out, or just possession in general. Or maybe they have a technology that does that. I myself think that some sources of hip hop music do just that. I think they open you up. I think there's a lot of music that opens you up. I don't know if that's the technology he's talking about because he doesn't specify, but a lot of people are starting to lean towards this. But we will talk about that more. But I do want you guys to hear what Tucker had to say about him as well.
Joe Biden, Barack Obama.
You're absolutely right. And I made that point. And you're absolutely right, they did. And I wish our president had, but he didn't.
So it's not you have been, until now really, a huge supporter of his. You wanted him elected, obviously,
Yes.
for a second term. Have you completely fallen out with him over this war then?
Well, I haven't fallen out with him. I mean, I've known him for decades. I've always liked him. And I think anyone who spent time with him likes him. I feel sorry for him, as I do for all slaves. He is not free in this moment at all to do what he thinks is best for himself or his country.
What do you mean?
No, he's not free. And we learned that yesterday when Donald Trump announced a ceasefire, clearly with relief, and made its terms, or most of its terms, public. And then that ceasefire ended within 2 hours because Israel intentionally violated the terms by attacking not just southern Lebanon, but the city of Beirut.
So are you saying he's a slave to Benjamin Netanyahu?
So I don't think it's as simple as he's under the control of Netanyahu. But, you could summarize it that way and you wouldn't be totally inaccurate. And again, we know this because the single biggest mistake Trump or any American president in my lifetime has made was going to war with Iran in an effort to change its regime. It didn't work. It was obviously a mistake immediately. Trump understood it was a mistake immediately, and he tried to get out of it this week and announced we were getting out of it, and the Israelis prevented us from getting out of it. So that's the clearest possible example.
Right.
They didn't allow it, therefore they're in charge.
You will know that.
Well, that is Tucker trying to be graceful. It seems, I don't believe it. I don't believe he's trying to be graceful here. I feel sorry for him like I do all slaves. Because slavery is bad. We abolished it. But yet for some reason, he still won. You know? What? You think he was being nice? I don't think he was being nice. I think he's being rude. And I think it's very needed. I think Tucker needs to talk about this way more than he has been. So I'm very happy that that's happening, you know? My wife says the Tucker laugh is reverberating through the entire house. Well, wonder what the kids think. They're like, what? Is Mickey Mouse in here? Mom, is Mickey Mouse in this? Mom, where's Mickey Mouse? It's not Mickey, it's your father. My father is Mickey Mouse. What? Then the kid comes into the studio, and I'm just sitting there like, huh? Get out of here. Look away. Look away. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Anyway, so that's what Tucker has to say about Trump, right? And then, does it sound so crazy what Tucker just said? Does it really sound that crazy? James Lee was the one that found this.
He called me from his plane on the way back from Washington. He reported to me in detail, as the people of this administration do every day, on the development of the negotiations. In this case, the explosion in the negotiations, the explosion came from the American side, which was not willing to tolerate the blatant violation of the agreement to enter negotiations by Iran. Essentially, the agreement was that there would be a ceasefire and Iran would immediately open the crossings. They didn't do that. The Americans were not willing to accept it. He also conveyed to me that the central issue on the table from the perspective of President Trump and the United States is the removal of all enriched material and ensuring that there is no more enrichment in the coming years, and this could be for decades. I spoke yesterday.
It's literally like they're just informing him on any and everything. How deep does that go? Because you might be like, well, it's just the war and they're heavily involved, but does it stop there? I don't know. I used to fight this more than anybody. I don't know, months ago, not even that long ago. Hoodwinked again. I used to fight this all the time. You know, I saw that picture of, the president. He's like pulling out a chair for Bibi. He's like, tucking it in for him. And I'm like, that's just manners. That's just manners. And then Bibi's like, hey, go ahead and bomb that place for me. And the president's like, no problem. And I'm like, well, I don't know, like, that could be manners too. Different cultures. You gotta go by their culture of what's nice and gifts. And now I'm just like, I don't know. I think they stopped. I think Bibi passed away and is completely inhabiting the president right now. Not the craziest thing in the world. Not the craziest thing to hear. He has a body double. There's a body double. Body double saying what it has to say, right? And the real one has gone. His spirit, through cult rituals, they put it into the president. You gonna tell me that sounds crazy? I don't know. You seen the way he's been acting? You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy. And again, I'm going to keep showing this as we talk about him. This is the reason he said this. Again, like I said, a lot of people are embracing this narrative. I think he's so demonically possessed that he can't even pretend for Christians anymore. Anomaly said that, right? This is John Mappin reposted. He said this was shortly after Kirk was removed, right?
Go ahead. You had talked a couple weeks ago, you were doing an interview, and you talked about how you hope to end the war in Ukraine because it might help you get into heaven. How does this help? Does this help?
I mean, I'm being a little cute. I don't think there's anything going to get me in heaven, okay? I really don't. I think I'm not maybe heaven bound. I may be in heaven right now as we fly in Air Force One. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make heaven, but go ahead.
You had talked a couple
I don't know. If you had a demon inside you, you'd know very well you're not getting into heaven. And you wouldn't sugarcoat it for people, you know? You'd just be like, that's not where I go. Anyway, next question. No, not me. Not me. Couldn't explain it to you if I wanted to. I have 4 different entities inside me. I've done wild occult rituals, okay? That place is not for me. This place is not for me. Anyway. So that's what's going on with Trump. We're going to get into Trump a little bit more right now. I don't know if you guys can handle it. There's a whole bunch of Trump stuff, right? There's a whole bunch. I have this to play. I'm going to play that after. I'll pull this all the way over here. This is D.L. Hughley talking about Erica Kirk. I think that's actually a really funny clip. Let's talk about Trump some more. So the reason that everybody's roasting him is for 2 things. One is for this. And I have to show you something that I found on Instagram. Shout out to the person who tagged me in this, because there is something wild going on right here. Let me play the clip for you first. Play this clip.
McDonald's.
Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you. I have your DoorDash. You want to record you, Mr. President?
That's very nice. Look at this. This doesn't look staged, does it?
They're all your favorites.
That's good. These are good. DoorDash is doing a good job. So, the reason for this is the fact that I heard you picked up an extra $11,000 that you didn't get because the tax bill was so big. The refund was the biggest you've ever had. Is that a correct statement?
It definitely was. Yeah, I saved over $11,000 by not having to claim.
Was that surprising to you?
It was very surprising. Very
A
surprising.
great big beautiful bill. And that doesn't include overtime in your case. This is only just based on what we did in terms of every other aspect of the tax bill, right?
Yes, sir.
So it was 11,000 saving.
Yes, sir.
Isn't that incredible? And that's what it is, the tax cut. It's really, we call it the great big beautiful bill. We should call it the great big beautiful tax cut bill.
Yeah, okay, sure. Just read it. Put it into ChatGPT and ask it where the tax cuts are, and you'll see. Just do that. Everybody should be doing that. Way more and more. Vivek did that one time, and he found out so much. Everybody should be doing that. You have access to these bills just like anybody else does. You can download it. You throw it into ChatGPT. You can ask it all sorts of questions and say, hey, is this bill going to help me? I make this much money. I'm an American, et cetera, et cetera. How does this help me? Name all the ways, please. And it'll tell you some. And then say how much money is going to foreign countries. And then you'll see they're getting helped out way more. They're getting helped out way more than you are. Now, there was this whole thing. Of course, it was staged. It was oddly staged. It's absolutely ridiculous. Could have just had the lady there, handed her $100. Did he hand her $100? Did he hand her $100 yet? There's a part in this where he actually goes into his pocket. He goes, here you go. And he gives her like $100 because her husband has cancer. Her husband has cancer and he's doing surgery and he's a billionaire. So of course he's able to lend $100 towards that cancer that her husband has because $100 will do all the difference in the world, especially when you're a billionaire and you could pay the whole thing off, but you don't. It's just the best possible thing you could do is give her $100. So people are roasting him for that. Then they're also. I said I wasn't going to show this and I forgot to take it away. Now mock Jesus. That's from the Truman Show, if you guys don't know. So let's just get into this whole mocking thing because people are going hard on Trump. I've never seen this before. We've never seen this before. Anyway, let's go through all the reactions. There's so many.
I don't know who's got this old man's phone. If I'm honest with you guys, I don't have a good answer for that. Me and everybody were talking. We were wondering if we can get the wall done. I know it's super 2016-y for me to ask, but when you're gone and they're still trying to just flood the border because Democrats will likely take back control of everything with a vengeance, I'd like there to not be just like open holes in the physical barrier. So if we're curd, can we get the wall? Can we still do that? Thanks.
No wall. No wall. That's not how this works. You know how it actually works? They make sure. I'll just say it. Say it and see if you can't see it throughout the years of your life. Okay, in the country. Let me just say it: demoralization, destabilization, crisis, normalcy, destabilization. No, sorry, demoralization, destabilization, crisis, normalcy. See if you don't see that cycle working all the time. Point it out where you can. I guarantee you're going to see it forever. Forever you're going to see it. Now that I've said it to you, remember those things. When are they doing those things to you? Where are you at in the track in the course of things right now? Well, I can tell you one thing. When this guy got into office, it was like normalcy. So if you're not in normalcy, then where are you right now? Demoralization? Have you been demoralized? Has there been some demoralizing going on? Maybe with the with the handling of some documents? The destabilization? Is that happening? Have you seen that around you? Have you heard about a crisis? If not, you will. Anyway, let's keep going. So, like Candace said, Ali Beth Stuckey, they don't like each other. Candace just said, come on, Ali, enough. Because Ali was like, I do believe that he didn't think of this as a depiction of Jesus when posting. Still, there has to be some care and discernment. She's like, listen, I won't get paid for every post, but you know, I'm not just gonna walk away from these stacks. I'm kidding. She's a nice lady. Anyway, let's play his explanation here with the DoorDash woman, who I have to show you in a second.
Mr. President, did you post that picture of yourself depicted as Jesus Christ?
Well, it wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor, and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support, and only the fake news could come up with that one. So I just heard about it, and I said, how did they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better, and I do make people better. I make people a lot better. As an example, the 11,000, I understand your husband's going through treatment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's going through some very serious cancer treatment, so
yes, sir.
This goes a long way.
Yes, sir, it sure does.
Yeah.
He's going through some very serious treatment. That's why I'm very glad you're able to do DoorDash. And I hope you're working 2 other jobs. Cancer's a big thing. It's a big thing. It's a glorious thing. Lucky for you, I'm a doctor. Did anyone tell her that? I'm a doctor. I'm a doctor. I can cure your husband, possibly. I gave you $100. That should do the trick. Put it on his forehead. Call me and tell me when the cancer's gone, okay? I'm really good. I'm really good. The best, biggest, most beautiful doctor you've ever heard in your life, okay? And there's a lot of lunatics who will tell you different. But we don't listen to them, do we? Do we? Next question. No CNN. No CNN. Next question. Benny Johnson. Mr. President, I would just love to know, how do you stay so virile? And can I marry you? Benny Johnson, ladies and gentlemen, always asking me good questions here. You cannot marry me. I'm married to Melania. How do I stay so virile? McDonald's. 2 big bags of it, baby. How do you think so? Anyway, that's just what's going on in my head. Sorry. My apologies. So, you know, I don't believe that because this is him showing himself as the Pope. So he's done this before, okay? He's already done this. He knows that he wasn't a doctor, okay? He knows that, okay? But just before we go on, I have to show you this lady. Shout out to whoever tagged me in this. I'm not sure what your name is. But check this out. Check this lady out. This is the DoorDash lady. Oh, there you are. DJT Collins. Thank you so much. She says Central Casting. Look at this. That's her. Check this out. This is weird. So, she's the DoorDash grandma, but then also she was during the Wanes and Means GOP field hearing in Nevada. I had the privilege of hearing Shannon Simmons about how the one big beautiful bill will make a real difference in her life as a mother and a caregiver. She shared how the tax relief will help her and her family. Her story is just one of thousands. You understand how weird that is? to not bring up your husband who has cancer? Or maybe she's just the most unlucky / lucky person in the world because she has all this calamity around her, but then the big beautiful Bill keeps stepping in and just making her life better and better and better. Isn't that weird? Oh my goodness. And they made sure to make her look very different. This was her first. This was in late 2025. She's sitting here, and of course she's doing something that helps the GOP. And she's sitting right there doing her thing right here. Shannon, Nevada, DoorDash driver. That's why I'm very excited. So she's this weird lady who keeps popping up at all these events. And there's always a different ailment that someone in her family has. Isn't that weird? I don't know. For me, the whole thing is very weird. And look, they keep on posting about this lady. They keep on talking about this lady. Weird. Not really weird. I mean, they're gonna use people. You know what I mean? If they're gonna use people like Benny Johnson and Dan Bongina, then obviously they're gonna use regular ladies that do DoorDash. What else are you up to, lady? Just cut your hair, dye it gray, and head over here. What are you talking about? Yeah, you'll meet the president. You get $100. Yeah. You get $100 and you get to split the McDonald's with them. Huh? How's that sound? You get a Big Mac. You like Big Macs? Anyway. So I just wanted to show you that. I thought that was very, very interesting. Thank you so much for showing that to me. DJT Collins, spelled with 2 L's. It's not the right way to spell it, but it's okay. Then the memes just started rolling in on Trump, man. Here's a picture of my doctor making house calls. I mean, it's just, here's an image of Trump as a pilot. It just keeps rolling out. These came out so quickly, so voraciously. I've never seen memes made so quickly. The doctor costume, just straight up adult size. One size fits most. There you go. I mean, I know what I'm going as for Halloween this year. I mean, this is just crazy how much these rolled out. Bang, costume idea, Halloween, Red Cross worker. You could be a Red Cross worker, guys. You guys ready for that? Oh my gosh, see this one, him fighting this is from Beeple, of course. Mecca president blocking Pope Leo from entering the Straits of Hormuz. This is crazy. I mean, the way that these rolled out, that's Beeple, ladies and gentlemen. Top meme maker in the world. Catholic Manhood says, here you go, Red Cross worker. Of course, that's exactly what that looks like. Someone else said they just showed this part of Trump's image and they just said stethoscope. Yep, that's what that is, clearly. I mean, everybody jumped in. And then, thank you so much, 21 million, 2140. Thank you so much for tagging me in this, because then all of a sudden you start seeing this. Check it out. Graham Allen, friend of the show. I don't believe the president intended to depict himself as Jesus when he posted it. He is a believer, after all. I do appreciate that he deleted it. Something President Trump rarely does. Discernment is learned. It's not always automatic. There you go. Very nice. Very nice of Graham. Why does he ever say anything like that about Candace? Oh, this is weird. This is another guy. Is this David J. Harris Jr.? Looks like he was grown in a lab. Personally, I don't believe the president intended to depict himself as Jesus when he posted it. He is a believer, after all. Wait a second. That's weird. Who else said that? Hold on. I don't believe he is a believer, after all. Whoa, hold on. Was that the same thing? No, that couldn't be. That couldn't be. Was that the same post? That's weird. Oh, man. It's weird. It's a coincidence. I don't know why it never happens to me and Barron. I don't know why Barron and I don't often post the exact same thing. Or me and Mark. Why doesn't that ever happen? I've never had that once before. I've never posted the same thing word for word as Candace. So odd. I recap her stuff so much. You'd think it would happen at least once. Never does. It's weird. Anyway, appreciate he deleted it. You didn't say that, did you? I do appreciate that he deleted it. Oh my God. Jeez. It's something President Trump rarely does. See here? It's something President Trump rarely has done. Oh my gosh. Discernment is learned. It's not always automatic. What? Discernment is learned, not always automatic. What the Oh, man. They don't even care. They don't even care to keep it secret anymore. They're just like, whatever. Give me my money. Give me my money. I'll write the thing. I don't care. Thousands of people pick up on it and they just go, what? And they go, what? Me? You guys are demons accusing me. You think I'm involved in something like that? How dare you? I would never. I don't know why Graham wrote the same thing as me. We weren't in the same, we didn't get said the same marching orders. That's not what happened here. You know? Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Again, thank you so much. 21 million. Somebody else tagged me in it as well. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. You know? We have more? That's Graham Allen. Then what? Ali? Yeah, Ali also. But Ali at least did something a little different. Same exact message, yes. You know, but at least she tried to do something a little different. Same time as well, yes. But at least she worded it a little different. Candace Owens has absolutely no sympathy for these people. It's called political prostitution. Candace, come on. Their ideas are whatever the highest bidder wants their ideas to be. Oh, man. Oh, man. Are you going to tell her she's wrong? Who's going to tell her she's wrong about this? Oh, there he is. Sir, can we help you? No, I work here. Oh, it's clearly a doctor. This meme doesn't even make sense. Why would all these people ask who this is when he's clearly a doctor? Step aside, you nurses. Ridiculous. Anyway, let's keep going. This is Owen Schroyer. I asked AI to make me Jesus. It just turned him into a doctor with a stethoscope. That's weird. Come on. Red Cross worker just delivering DoorDash to the homeless. There you go. There you go. I mean, going in. And I'm like, well, I can't show people 150 memes in the show. I can't do that. Right? So I had to stop. But it just kept going. There's more and more and more. Check it out. Go check it out. There's just more and more. It's crazy. People keep tagging me with the Candace Owens face, saying I should use that. I am going to use that face. Thank you very much, everybody, for showing me that face. Well, I'm going to show it to the people in a second. We're just doing a show right now, so I'll just show it to everybody in a second. Give me a second. Tim Pool says, yeah, okay, president is cooked. What the F? He's burning down everyone who had his back. It's funny. Tim just said how the president called him before he called Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens hand-flailing losers. And now all of a sudden he's cooked because he attacked Riley Gaines. Well, he added, so recently the president said whether he deleted AI-generated Jesus was because of the backlash he received from conservatives like Riley Gaines debunking that Gaines influenced his decision. The president added, I didn't listen to Riley Gaines. I'm not a big fan of Riley, actually. And when Riley got that hit from Trump, oh, she backed down immediately. First, she called it out and she said, this is crazy. Then she said, I love the president right after. Let me tell you something. Listen, you might like the president, but the fact that he said this, and then Riley Gaines was like, sir, yes, sir, hup two. I love the president, and I'm so grateful for his Oval Office. Of course, I'll continue to support him, the America First agenda. At the end of the day, I do nothing for the approval of man. Our purpose on the earth is to glorify him in all we do. Is she talking about Jesus, God, or Trump? Who's she talking about? Is that the Holy Trinity that I've heard so much about? The social truth point missed the mark. Now it's deleted. Amazing. Anyway, she got hit. She got hit hard. Stu's like, Riley Gaines just publicly chose the president over Jesus Christ. Yep. That's how that works. Hey, listen. Riley Gaines was going to be a dental assistant. That was her path. She was going to school to be a dental assistant. And then they were like, how about a podcast? How about $250,000 a year? How about $500,000 a year? How about you get to sit in the White House? How about you're a millionaire? How about all that? How about one day you get to run for Congress? That'll make some people choose whoever over Jesus. Oh, yeah. It'll push people to that. Tim Pool, so shaken up by this whole thing with Trump, he said, I'm a collapsed Catholic. I don't consider myself Christian. Recent events in the world have me very worried, and I'm considering going back to church. That's nice. It is nice. It's sad that, you know, like you're scared because everybody's turning on the guy who you were just backing a second ago. And you're just like, oh my God, I think this is going to go left really quick. So I got to go back to church. Like, it's always nice whenever you go back to church, but sometimes it sucks that that's the reason you're going back, you know, because you're scared. Because you're like, oh no, God actually might be real. And this guy said he's not going to heaven. I should probably act right, you know? Anyway, anybody, whoever made this, you're way too quick. Way too quick. Who's this? Kimberly? Kimberly Wood? Way too quick. I mean, I'm not even done the show yet. You already made this. Are you kidding me? You gotta slow it down. Slow it down, lady. Jeez, way too quick. What's going on with you guys? Anyway, when we get back to those Graham Allens of the world. Oh yeah, I told you guys I'd show you the gazongas. I told you I would. I told you I'd show you all these memes. I told you I would, and I'm not gonna back down from it. I'm not gonna back down from it, okay? Told you what I'd show you guys. Here, sorry. Here you go. Bang. Who did this? Who did this? Oh, that's the congressman. He's getting a hamburger. Diet Coke inside. Diet Coke straight to his veins. There you go. Katy Perry in the background. Sad lady just watching America fall apart. You know what I mean? And of course. Who did that? Who did that? You should be ashamed of yourself for writing that prompt in, man. Whoever did that. And I say man confidently. I don't think a lady did that. Just come on, guys. Anyway, just gonna watch this really quick. It's just about the people who were kind of trying to post the same things at the same time. We've seen this so many times. Graham Allen always seems to be involved, and he also works for the Department of Defense, so you can kind of connect those two things, right? Anyway, let's play this.
I don't think people understand how bad the last few days have been for MAGA online influencers. Recently, MAGA creator and Elon Musk's baby mama, Ashley St. Clair, dropped a bombshell on Twitter, explaining into great depth how coordinated the MAGA online ecosystem is. She became a Turning Point USA operative when she was just 19 years old. St. Clair goes on to say that most MAGA influencers are corralled in group chats and unleashed on Twitter with positions, campaigns, and propaganda that they are hired for like any other content creator campaign. Most of these campaigns are paid by consulting firms that don't have to disclose these expenses to the FEC because they aren't considered a goods sold transaction. She goes on to say that 99% of MAGA influencers online that you see are paid or receiving some form of compensation for their actions. These paid statements could be for a war to prop up a politician, or even a scripted response to stuff like, let's say, the files. These are marching orders. There is zero free thinking here. Another MAGA grifter named Dom Lucre was just demonetized for 90 days on Twitter for posting AI-generated war footage and is having a full crash out online. This dude has been a sellout. The moment he stopped getting paid, he completely turned on the right, saying he's been critiqued more by conservatives than liberals. Is this the same Dom Lucre that posted an AI picture of Black Trump calling him his N-word on MLK Day?
I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh, I love it. But yeah, apparently there is something like that going on. Not surprised that Elon's willing to point it out. You know, Elon's not a left or right guy. He is a robot guy. So he doesn't really care about what's going on the left or right, because he knows at the end of the day, he's going to have a bunch of robots take everything over. So you can always count on him to just shoot it straight down the middle. You know, he's that kind of guy. Anyways, let's get into, oh, there's way too many tabs open. So many tabs. It's not even showing me all the tabs I have. Let me just get into this. Hold on, guys. Let me delete some of these tabs. Literally 60 tabs open right now. I'm so surprised my laptop can. This is a monster of a laptop. This laptop handles anything. This laptop's incredible. I mean, you saw how it showed you guys the gazongas, right? That was crazy. No? It handled business. It really did. Anyways, let's get over here now. Just a quick palate cleanser, really quick before we get into this guy. This is DL Hughley, really quick, just talking about Erica Kirk. I don't agree with a lot of what DL Hughley has to say, but I found this really funny. So let me just play this.
That Erica Kirk, she has moved on with her life, haven't she?
Yeah, what the hell do you think is going on
That's
there?
the happiest sad bitch I've ever seen.
Did you see the Drewski thing?
Man.
Oh, my God.
I've never seen a widow with leather pants on before.
Yeah, man.
How do I look? Guilty. Last time I saw a widow that was that unbothered by her husband's death was an episode of Forensic Files. And they didn't call her a widow. They called her a suspect.
Yeah, man.
And I'm not making light of that man's death. I think Charlie Kirk, I didn't like him. I thought that he was racist. I thought he said some incredibly horribly incendiary things. But I think it's more a shame that we live in a country where a man expresses himself gets you killed. I don't think you should die for telling people how you feel. But I know
it's amazing. The happiest sad B word he's ever seen. That's a solid statement. I like that statement. Thank you very much, DL Hughley, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, let's keep going. Let's keep going here. Let's get into the Ian Carroll was talking about having 400 tabs open. Oh my God. How does he even keep track of that? How does he do that? I got 60 and I'm feeling wonky. I'm like, oh, I don't know. But that was amazing by DL Hughley. Again, I don't agree with everything, especially what he has to say about Charlie Kirk. But I do appreciate his comedy, right? I always try to tell you guys, I'm a comedian first, right? So even if I don't agree with him, I'm still gonna listen to his comedy. You kidding me? Been listening to DL Hughley's comedy since I was a little kid, watching BT Comic View. You even know what that is? You even old enough to know what that is? Watching BT Comic View, watching Cat Williams throw himself 12 feet across the stage. Are you kidding me? You know who Shucky Ducky is? You know who Ricky Smiley is? You know about Bruce Bruce? Do you know about any of those names? Are you kidding me? Those are my inspirations. You see those people, you'd see a lot of my comedy in them, for sure. Or a lot of my comedy. A lot of their comedy in me. There you go. That's how that goes. Now, let's get into this Swaddell. Mr. Swaddell, congressman, has resigned, has taken his resignation here. I'm deeply sorry to my family, staff, constituents for the mistakes in judgment I've made in my past. I will fight the serious false allegations. Why are you apologizing then if they're all false? That are made against me. However, I must take responsibility and ownership for the mistakes I did make. I'm aware. Can I click this? Now it's huge. I'm aware of efforts to bring an immediately expulsion vote against me and other members. Expelling anyone in Congress without due process within days of an allegation being made is wrong. But you're resigning. Why are you resigning then? But it's also wrong for my constituents to have me distracted from my duties. Therefore, I plan to resign my seat in Congress. That's crazy. I will work with my staff in the coming days to ensure they are able, in my absence, to serve the needs of the good people of the 14th Congressional District. Mr. Swindell. Maybe a lot of you are asking, who is that guy even? You don't know that guy? I can show you this guy. I can show you who this guy is. Pull it up. Hold on, this is Vinny. Vinny's just saying. Let me get this straight. So Eric Swindell, or Swaddell, or Swawell. I'm just going to call him Eric. Banging Fang Fang, the Chinese spy for 4 years, was totally acceptable, but cheating on your wife and being a scumbag, that's what gets you taken out. Got it. And that's a true thing. That is an actual thing. This is not Vinny making a joke. This congressman was actually involved with a lady who turned out to be a Chinese spy. Again, maybe you don't know who this guy is. This is who he is. This is his face. This is him next to his letter of resignation, talking about how everything being said about him is false.
Through anonymous allegations. And I thought it was important that you see and hear from me directly. These allegations of sexual assault are flat false. They are absolutely false. They did not happen They have never happened, and I will fight them with everything that I have. They also come on the eve of an election where I have been the frontrunner candidate for governor in California. I do not suggest to you in any way that I'm perfect or that I'm a saint. I have certainly made mistakes in judgment in my past, but those mistakes are between me and my wife. And to her, I apologize deeply for putting her in this position. I also apologize to you if in any way you have doubted your support for me. But I think you know who I am. For over 20 years, I have served the public as a city councilman, as a member of Congress, and as a prosecutor who went to court on behalf of victims, particularly on behalf of victims. That's who I am and have always been. This weekend, I'm going to spend time with my family and friends, and I appreciate those who have reached out to me to show support, and I look forward to updating you very soon.
This guy goes on vacation. Isn't that crazy? That's how it is. I'm telling you, you could be a congressman. It'd be a pretty good setup. You get in, it's a pretty good setup. This guy did some heinous stuff. In fact, right now I'm looking at a video that I'm going to pull up for you guys. I don't even know if I'm going to play it. It's about a girl who's talking about being, how they say on the internet, how do they say in TikTok land? They say graped by this guy. The guy who just told you everything's false. There's a video of a girl talking about it. And the update of how everything was going was this. That was his update. He said he'd update everybody. He updated them with him resigning. What? This is crazy. That's him with a lady of the night. What? That is him with a lady of the night. What are we talking about right now? They're false? I mean, I'm telling you, being a politician is some kind of setup. You get to be the pseudo royalty, gets to walk around like as if everything's just all good all the time. You never have to answer for anything. You don't have to talk with regular people. And then you just walk off worth $30 million and you don't have to explain it to anybody. It's insane. It's insane. So I'll just read this really quick. Here, I'll pull it up like that. I'll read it from my phone because there's a lot of words in here that can't be said. What is she saying?
Hills, let's watch.
In 2018, while I was living and working as a model in Beverly Hills, and I also owned a fashion software company, I had contact with Eric Swalwell on 3 separate occasions after meeting him socially. He offered me connections to further my software company, and I also had an interest in local politics. He invited me to 2 public events. I knew he was married at the time and that his wife was pregnant. He was my friend. On the 3rd occasion, I believe he drugged my neck. I only had 1 glass of wine. We were supposed to go to a political event, and he said he needed to get paperwork from his hotel room. When I arrived at his hotel room, I was already incapacitated, and I couldn't move my arms or my body.
Setup. Listen, allegedly, sure, but that's a setup. You say, hey, have a drink. You have 1 drink. Then you're like, oh, just forgot. Have to go to my hotel. Can you come with me to the hotel room? That's somebody that knows what they're doing. I'm just saying. Listen, and I'll be honest with you, just so you know where my bias is. I don't like this guy. I don't think he's a good politician. There are very few who I do. This guy couldn't hoodwink me. There's no chance of it. That's how bad he was. But I mean, that sounds like a pure setup. A disgusting, pure setup. He knew, allegedly, if this is all true. But he also said that it was a bunch of anonymous allegations. This lady doesn't look that anonymous. She's talking about it. And I will just read this little part here. It's basically everything she just said. He said then her choked and left her unconscious. She thought she died. That's the basic of what she has to say. Guy said everything was false. Catching him with ladies of the night. I mean, just a gross, crazy story. Crazy, crazy story. And then when it comes to this, they're talking about the person who was filming this little scene here was underage. This guy might go to jail, even though he's a politician, and they never do, no matter what, because they've all gone to the Eyes Wide Shut parties and they've all watched Diddy and Baby Oil and they've watched each other do terrible things because they're a part of a big club that you're not in. He just might. We'll have to see. Guy just went home to be with his kids. Hey guys, after everything that's happened, it's been a wild time. I'm just going to go hang out at home. Maybe we'll take a trip somewhere hot, somewhere nice. We do live in California, but there's other nice places. What? Bro, jail. Kash Patel, man, roll up. This is your chance. Roll up on somebody. What the hell? Roll up on someone at least once. This is crazy. Kash Patel's like, there's no evidence that anything was done at all. Just right beside the girl who's saying all this. There's no evidence. Nothing happens to him. Okay.
What I will say is that many people on the Hill knew about this. Many reporters have come forward, even in talking to me, saying that they had heard stories about this. But I do think that he has serious criminal problems on his hand, and I do think that he might end up in jail, Jesse. And if I could just share with you for a moment, not only did I receive forensic reporting showing that, that infamous of him in the hotel room was indeed him. It was not AI generated. But I'm also being told that, more stuff is going to be dropping in the next 24 hours. And then also potentially the individual that recorded that video in that hotel room, Jesse, was a female and she was underage.
Oh, just so the audience is aware, there's a video that's circulating.
So now, obviously, who you're looking at Jesse Waters of Fox, and you're looking at Paulina Annaluna, who is also a Republican, right? So they're going to jump on this all they can. It is a terrible situation, a gross situation, obviously. But they are going to make a circus out of it because that's what they would do, right? If one of theirs was caught doing something like this, they would be like, oh, this is nonsense and false and blah, blah, blah. They wouldn't jump on it like this. So they're using this. Don't be fooled. It's not like she's like, I'm an advocate. She's not an advocate. She's just a Republican, and she's just attacking a Democrat, and that's just what they're programmed to do. They're basically just little bots, little NPCs that just do that all day, and we're supposed to root for them, right? Then also somebody says, breaking, Kash Patel just called on Eric to sit down with the Bureau. TikTok, Eric, prison time. I don't believe this for a hot second. I don't believe Kash Patel has done anything like that, ever. I don't think he's ever called anybody to go to jail. I don't think he's ever seen anybody go to jail. I don't think he's a part of the raids where people go to jail. I think other agents do it because they want to do it. I think Kash Patel would sit back and do absolutely nothing but just make sure that the president was good if he had the opportunity to. He's not interested in arresting anybody. If he was, he'd be working with all other countries that were involved in the documents that dropped, and they'd be making all sorts of arrests. But they're not. So screw him. Let's keep going here. This guy left the Democrat Party because of this guy. This guy was a huge donor. He's a billionaire and a huge donor to this guy, Eric.
First say you're mad. I mean,
mad?
Yeah.
I am no longer a Democrat. I'm now a libertarian Republican because that's what a blue dog Democrat used to be. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's called executing, being accountable, enforcing, respect, responsibility, and results.
So drunk. Why does he sound so drunk? Well, you know what? If I was a billionaire, I'd be drunk too. You know what? Screw it. I'd be drunk too. And the guy I was just donating money to just got caught. just got caught, not that I didn't know, but he just got caught, I'd be like, I'm going to have a few drinks before I get on camera here. I don't really care about anything, you know? I would do the same thing.
Knowing
Not really, but you know.
what your job description is. Delivering results. Unifying. Making this country great. The great brand we have, okay?
First say you're mad. I mean,
Mad?
Yeah.
I am no longer a Democrat. I'm now a Libertarian Republican.
I'm no longer a Democrat. I'm now a Libertarian Republican. It's mad. I'm no longer a Democrat. I'm a Libertarian Republican now. I'm a Libertarian Republican now. Okay? Because I donated so much money to that guy. And, you know, and now all of a sudden it's like, where's my money? And he's supposed to do things for me. And now how's he going to do it? He resigned. So it's like, you know, I'm just going to go be a Libertarian Republican now. So goodbye. I'm going to go donate money to Dave Smith. Maybe I'll donate money to Dave Smith. Maybe he'd do better. I don't know. He's drunk. I'm just kidding. He's not drunk. Maybe. I don't know. Could be. Seemed like it. Anyway.
The fact that he has now dropped out of the governor's race and resigned from Congress, is that justice in your view?
No, it's just the beginning. It's just the very beginning. And I know personally that we're not walking away from this fight.
For me, justice won't be until he can't ever harm a woman ever again. And he has faced the consequences for the women that he has.
I think in regards to the governor's race, he never should have ran for governor to begin with, knowing the kind of history and receipts that are out there. So that's a non-starter. And then in terms of Congress, I think he absolutely should have resigned. I think we just prevented another 30 to 40 years potentially of him harming.
It's crazy. He said it was all anonymous. What happened? These ladies are all done up. They got their hair nice. They're on camera. They got good lighting going on. CBS doing their thing. Got an interviewer in front of them. Little nice backdrop here. Are you kidding? This is the opposite of that. It's the opposite of anonymous. This is very public what's happening here. Now, it's weird because apparently, this is not the only guy that this is going to happen to. Very weird. I found this voice so drunk. This is when he was hanging out with that billionaire for sure. I will be. These girls are so hot around here. Are they so hot? They are. And you don't have to be a Libertarian Republican. We'll go and I'll do so many. You know, I'll do so much for California. I was like, screw Gavin Newsom. I could do stuff like Gavin too. I can do stuff. I can burn down forests. It doesn't matter. I can do it. I can do all sorts of things. I love homeless people. You know, so drunk in that picture. Anyway, apparently there is how many things that I have of this guy. There's so much going on. I just want to. So apparently, people are like every politician's worst nightmare, and they're talking about TMZ. And I was like, what's going on here? But apparently, what's going to be happening is TMZ is going to be releasing multiple congressmen and women will resign this week to the incoming TMZ reports on their affairs and money laundering. I don't know if this is true. I don't know if this is actually going to happen. But when this was said, like right now, these two, is there more? Right now, these two who are at the top of the list, they've resigned. So, you know, next is Max Miller, Dan Mooser, Matt Rosendale, right? Like there's a whole bunch. Nancy Mace. Oh my gosh. If this is crazy. If this actually happens. But this is what a lot of people are saying, that TMZ is going to come out with some crazy reports. Now, what does that mean? Because TMZ is not trustworthy. So what does this actually mean? What's actually going on? There's clearly something going on. Like, yes, they're dirtbags, but they always cover for each other. So why all of a sudden are the dirtbags not covering for some of the dirtbags and putting them into the fire? Like, why are they doing that all of a sudden? I shouldn't even have said putting them into the fire, because this guy who resigned, Tony Gonzalez of Texas, let me tell you something. I can't even show you, okay? So he quits Congress for an affair he had with a staffer who yeeted herself by fire. Yeeted herself with fire. That doesn't seem too regular. Does that seem regular to you? Seems weird. You know? This is the guy here. You know? Check his garage for gas tanks, no? I'd be the rudest. I'd be the rudest agent. Can you open up your garage? I want to see if you have any gas in there. I want to see if you have gas tanks in your garage. What? I didn't do that to her. I want to see. Open it now. Open it now. Do it. Do it. I want to see. I want to see. Let me smell your fingers. I want to smell your fingers. Give me your fingers. Oh, I'd be the worst. This guy opened my garage and he's been sniffing my fingers for 10 minutes now. I want to speak to your superiors. Oh, I'd be the worst. Be the worst. Agent Coach, you cannot do that type of thing. I smell gasoline all over his fingers. Let me kick in this guy's door. Put hands behind his back. Agent Coach, you can't just say hands behind your back whenever you have a hunch. I would. Screw it. I'm just saying. So that's weird. And apparently there's going to be many, many more that are going to be taken out into resignation, I should say. Jack Posobiec is like, hey, you want a congressman or a senator next? You want to do this to somebody next? Email us. Your identity is protected. Theirs won't be. That's what Jack's offering right now. Imagine Jack just gets a bunch of emails about Tyler Boyer. Oh, what are you going to do about it? Wouldn't that be funny? I'm not saying to do that. I'm just saying. Wouldn't that be funny? What would he do with that information? I wonder, you know? He wouldn't do anything with it. Just so you know. I'm being facetious. He wouldn't do anything with it. Those are your stories for today's, guys. Let's get into these super chats. I mean, just so wild. Sorry we're going so late today, man. Has Candace even announced that she's going live yet? Has that announcement came in? She hasn't made that announcement yet? Okay. Because that's how late we're going here, guys. I do apologize. You know. And you know what? Thank you to so many people. There are so many people who have wrote things like, your fans will be here when you're ready, coach. Make sure you're taking care of yourself too. It's easy to take care of everyone else and forget about yourself. Much love, prayers, and blessings sent your way. Like, there's so many people who are just like, relax, you know, take it easy. So many people told me to just skip it today. You know, so just thank you guys so much. Just, I really, really appreciate that. I wasn't going to do that. You know, I'm not going to let myself, get bogged down and not show up. It's not something that I do. So I like to show up no matter what, cover all my other responsibilities, but still show up. So anyway, just thank you guys so much. Really, really appreciate you guys. Someone else said family first, coach. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. But yeah, thank you. I do appreciate that a lot. Oh man, you both need good rest. You know, thank you. Just thanks so much, guys. I truly do appreciate that. You know what? There's someone that I actually have to read first. Okay. So I use this app called Buy Me a Coffee, and it seems like they don't take anything, or they take less than other platforms, which is fine. But then this lady, Jessica Impson, she bought me 200 coffees, and each coffee is like $5. She bought me 200 of them. And she just said, oh man, I hope I don't get choked up. But just thank you so much, Jessica. We appreciate it so much. She said, you're an amazing man, believer, husband, father. Thank you, Jessica. I can't get through it. You brighten my days when I listen and laugh with you, wishing you and your wife peace, love, safety, And thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Jessica. But I thought that was crazy. Me and my wife were looking at it. We're like, that can't be. Me and my wife were doing math. We're like, what's 200 times 5? We're like, what the hell? We're like, is this real? This can't be real. Anyway, thank you so much, Jessica. Really, 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 really appreciate it. Thank you so, so much. And also, Cohen Film bought 20 coffees. Thank you so much. Coach and wife, congratulations on the new baby. Thank you for your daily show and being the chief of the lexicon for Candace, Coach, and Ian. Thank you. Thank you very much. So let's jump in here, guys. Let's jump in here. Almost lost it there. Thank you, Jessica. Truly, truly appreciated. So let's go into it. You know, if everybody else could do exactly what Jessica just did, you know, I could buy a breaking mobile just like Dom did. I mean, it would be a dream of mine to be able. Oh my gosh. That Dom guy still makes me laugh. That's so funny. Friend of the show, Dom, of course. Friend of the show, as everybody knows, of course. You know, right up there with Officer Tatum. Ash of the Dead. Thank you so much, Ash of the Dead, for showing up and sending a membership again, because you tend to do this a lot. Oh, and I have to say, I did have to shift the members. I have to shift it, guys. I'm so sorry. I really do have to shift it. I'm not going to be able to do it because it's like I would have to do it in like, you know, an hour or so, or like 2 hours, and I can't make that happen, man. I just can't make that happen. So, so thank you so much. Yeah, so I just forgot to say that. Anyway, Ash of the Dead, thank you. Ash of the Dead again, thank you. Just got to get back to the baby and the family. Very emotional time you have a kid, man. It's so weird. So weird what it does. We appreciate you going live with a new baby and wife to take care of. It's not easy turning 40, says the 50-year-old. Oh my gosh, you know. 40 is like just the weekend before 50, you know. It just goes by in a flash, I bet. Coach Radamus about took me out yesterday. I'm telling you, people don't believe it. Watch. Whether it's 2028 or 2032, you're going to see that late. She's going to run for something. I'm telling you, she's going to run for something. I know it, because she's going to get pushed to the edge, and she's going to realize my family lives here. This is my country, and I need to do this. Tucker has said the exact same thing. He's like, if the country really needed me, he's like, I don't want to. He's like, but if the country really needed me, I would. So you just never know. You never know. That's my prediction. Mark it down. You blocked me on X, and I don't know why. I don't know what your name is. What's your name on X? You should have said your name on X. Because there have been people I've blocked by mistake. That has happened before. So you could have been one of those people. So let me know what your name is on X, and I'll look into it. Or maybe we'll just start arguing, because I'll be like, oh, you mother, you know. but I do it by mistake sometimes. And then I don't know what to do, because I'm like, oh, I didn't see the person, and I can't go back into the list, and I don't know. So sorry if that's one of those things. Michelle Ewell. Coach, I hope I don't only speak for myself when I say this. It's okay to take time off and be with your family, your new family. We will be here waiting for you. It has got to be hard trying to juggle everything, even God rested. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Oh, I do appreciate that. Yeah, I know. I feel like I can't, though. I feel like I just can't. I don't like to take days off. I like to push very hard, you know? So, very hard. I had a whole lifetime of being like really lazy, you know? So now in my 30s, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not even in my 30s anymore. So in my 30s, I was like, no more. Like midway through my 30s, I was like, this has to stop. I'm like, you gotta step up, man. So what? I had started this podcast when I was 36? So it's like I've had 36 years of being lazy and being a F up and stuff like that. So now I just want to push. Just want to push as much as I can. Don't want to stop the momentum. I love your show. So happy for you and the new edition. Welcome to the toddler girl and boy crew. I had my boy in August, and holy crap, it's rough. You be late whenever you want. We are here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And yeah, it's hectic at first. You know, I'm sure it's like getting used to like riding a bike. You know, you're just riding a bike at first, and then the bike just punches you in the mouth, right? It's like one of those bikes. It punches you in the mouth and you want to sleep, and the bike's like, you're not going to sleep. You're not sleeping. You're not sleeping, and it's shaking you. And then you get on that bike, and then eventually you learn how to ride that bike, and it's fine, and you know how to dodge the punches and get some sleep. And I'm sure it's like a bike like that. That's why when Candace said yesterday, it really hit me, because I've heard her say it before. She's like, I have, what'd she say, 4 kids under 5? I was like, oh my God. And then that piece of Cabot Phillips rolls up and starts talking smack. You have 4 kids. Oh my gosh. How I would uppercut somebody if they were giving me stress while I'm dealing with 4 kids under 5 and I'm holding one of them and a part of me is broken. Oh my gosh. Like a Street Fighter character. Horyuken. Right into the air. Are you kidding me? Mortal Kombat Ultra, Honeypot, Abyss, Fatality. I already said that one. The Honeypot one, you get draped in honey and then you just freeze and then they shatter you completely. Honeypot Abyss. Oh, that would be you get into the honeypot and then it's like quicksand and then you fade into the honeypot. Fatality. Finish him. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Circle B, God bless you and your family. You, Candace, Tucker, Barron are my faves. When people ask me, how you doing? The new response is Minty. You? That's a pretty cool response, actually. You know? Love your show. Thank you so much. Minty is actually a solid response to that. You know, how you doing, Minty? That's actually really, really good. That's a really good response. Congrats on baby coach's arrival on your 40th best birthday present you could get. You found you via Barron 6 months ago, and you make me laugh daily. Your analyst is on point and so appreciated. Oh man, that's amazing. Thank you so much. Do appreciate that. Ed Franks says, if I post a photo on X of myself at the checkout in Publix holding pink balloons, then I'm gay. Thank you for warning us. We do appreciate it. Is that Cabot Phil? Is Cabot on a burner account? Is this Cabot's burner account here? Is that what we're seeing? Oh my gosh. So funny. George didn't get a sandwich last night. Yeah, no sandwiches. Just went to bed hungry. Honey, how could I possibly know that Cabot Phillips, of all people, would show up at the park? How could I know that? If you were standing next to me, you would have known exactly that. There was a lady on the ground. I could have been a lady on the ground. My foot's broken. Do you remember my foot, Cabot? Sorry, do you remember my foot, George? I do. I remember. But you were walking. You were just fine. With 4 kids under 5. You know that, right? There's no other ladies that would be pregnant year after year like I have. You know that, right? I do know. It's remarkable what you've done. It's incredible. I do apologize. Oh, yeah. He's in trouble. Citizens arrest for all the bad guys. They are all from Ohio. Makes sense. Jeffrey's father also passed away there. And Cashierp has an LLC in Ohio. Of course, the Rust Belt be rusty out here. Hide your kids. Wow. I didn't know that. I did not know that. Who said this? Oh, I don't give a dom. Hey, I don't give a, you're part of the crew? I didn't know that. I don't give a dom. There's a clip of you talking about, what were you guys talking about? You were talking about people being used in like some kind of demonic possession. I would love to talk to you about that. I would love to talk more about that. I saw a clip of it. I have not found the episode that it is, but if you could message me and tell me what you know about that or what you learned from talking to that person, I would love to talk to you about that, because that's so interesting to me, especially with all the talk of the president being possessed in that way. Plus, I'm always curious about that topic. So if you see this, please reach out. I would love to talk about that. It was so interesting. They were talking about young people being used in that way, young people who were nonverbal. And I was like, oh man, I was just talking with somebody about that, about the telepathy tapes, and how, they were like, well, those kids are just all pure. And it's like, well, you don't know. What I was talking about was like, you don't know, like, evil comes to all things, and it comes to the most innocent and pure, unless they are draped in the word, unless they are sealed in, being baptized or whatever your religion does to seal them in that way. Yeah, just very interesting stuff. So let me know, Dom. Let me know if you're out there. I would love to talk to you about that. I thought that was a really cool subject you guys were touching on. I don't give a Dom, ladies and gentlemen, friend of the show. Barron said Turning Point has a board. The board would have to vote on the next CEO, so Charlie couldn't change it with a final wish. Don't understand how they keep portraying it like it was Charlie. Yeah, that's also a thing too, right? And the board is connected to the donors, and they would have to approve of this person. They could do the whole, this is Charlie's final wish. They could push that. But if they didn't like Charlie's final wish, which in my opinion is probably Candace, then what they would do is they would say no. They would say it's going to be Erica and make it happen. And then all those weird underlings like Blake and Andrew, they would just make it happen all creepily like they do everything. So that's all they are. They're just a face. They're not running anything. They're not speaking for Charlie. They're not running the company. They're not the ones. It's all these people who are behind the scenes. That's why the donors being secret is so crazy to me. We know for a fact the Daily Wire is one of them. How long is that going to go on for? A donor that gives you $1 million is a pretty big donor, I would think. Especially if you're making $100 million. There's one donor that's like 1%. That's pretty big. There's another donor that's like 2% of that 100 million. That's pretty big. You don't want to lose that. You don't want to lose 3% of your donations over not having Ben Shapiro speak at AmFest. Or maybe there's more money where that came from, because who the hell knows where the Daily Wire is getting its money from? I mean, you can guess, right? Anyway. Oh, Daisy, I saw everybody talking about you. Thank you so much. Baby's first 50 from Auntie Daisy. Thank you so much, Daisy. Really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you for the support. I truly, truly appreciate it. It's something that my wife and I, when we pray together, it's something I always bring up. I always say that I'm grateful for the support, because that's a lot of my prayers, what I'm grateful for and thanking God for. And I always say I'm thankful for the support, and I always say thankful for the community, but I'm also thinking of like the community around us, that's directly around us. But, so much has come from this community, this actual community that's been built. So I do appreciate that so much, so much. Baby fun, who's going to match me? Thank you so much. I really appreciate, who said that? I really appreciate that. Big Chap in the house. I like that profile picture. Homely Craft, diaper fun. Thank you so much. Somebody else says diaper fun. Pitsy R. Thank you so much. Oh, match. Oh, wow. Diaper fun match. Come on, guys, keep it going. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. We have to go out and buy diapers. We actually do have to go and buy a bunch. Hopefully, I don't know. My mother-in-law should be here by now, I would think. Hopefully she brought some. I know my mom will when she comes by. My mom knows. That's like the ticket. So you wanna take the ride and see the baby? You want to see a baby? You want to see a newborn baby? okay, you gotta bring diapers. Gotta bring a box of diapers. So she'll bring some, I'm sure. Diaper fund, thank you again. Oh, come on. Gilbert Kiss Maximus, Gilbert Icus Maximus. I feel like there's probably chairs in my house that are floating after I just said that incantation like that. You know? I see your match and I double little baby. Baby's getting a little darker. Baby's almost there, you know. Adrian Wheeler, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Match on poopy pants. We're actually happy. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, Jason. Is that the Jason? What's going on, Jason? Glad you're here. Tiny Dancer matches it as well. Big Chap comes back again. Diaper fun. Here's my other 5. Thank you so much. We are happy. We are past the venomous first baby poops, and we're getting into a more milky era. Not to get too graphic. We're getting to a more milky era of the poop, which I'm happy about. It's crazy to have to wipe that other stuff out. It's crazy. So I'm very happy about that. Red better, learn, live, and then gets loves. Then gets loves. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Who is this? David J. Is this David J. Harris? This is David J. Harris Jr.? No, I'm kidding. Thank you so much. For all the homies that can't donate, I gotcha. This is the best fam on the interwebs. Represent. We are grateful for you, Coach. Get back to work, Matt Welsh. Thank you so much, man. Really, really appreciate that. David J. 12. That's all I can see of the name, but thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you. Mark Book sends out 1. And for all the people that can't, yeah, I heard somebody saying I can't do it. Like they couldn't actually, like they weren't allowed to. I don't know. Maybe it's because the remarks I said about the eyebrow people. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. I don't know. T. Brooks, joking. T. Brooks, congratulations. Vanity. This is me thumbing my nose at Big Chap, and also, Coach, you are on one today. You've been watching those Lego music videos, haven't you? No, I haven't got a chance to see those, actually. I have not got a chance to see those. Maybe I should check those out. It's so hard. I Don't Give a Dom is doing a huge deep dive on the twigs. Really interesting. When you do your deep dive, you should reach out to her. Congrats. That would be cool. Yeah, because I have all the clips that I want to show. Some clips are even from me and my wife when we covered Mortal Kombat Ultra, because we did a whole big, it was like an hour-long breakdown of the history of Mortal Kombat Ultra, up until they took it away, and then we kind of just like get into our own thing talking about it. But there's some clips from there, and some clips from Turkey Tom, and there's just I think there's even some from maybe Jesse or something like that. But there's a bunch of these clips, and yeah, it really spells it out when you really break it down. So yeah, I Don't Give a Dom. That is, I'm already trying to reach out to her. So that would be great. That'd be great. And I like your getup. I Don't Give a Dom. I saw her, she had glasses on, and then she has this big fisherman's hat. And I'm like, oh, that looks pretty cool. Rebecca Myers, stop making me LOL at work. I'm a survivor and supposed to be mean. That's funny. That's funny. You're just giggling at work. Supposed to be in charge kind of thing. Big Chap, here's my other 10 to match Vanity 20. God bless. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. I really, really appreciate it. Ivan is Ivan. Congratulations to you and your beautiful wife. Happy belated birthday. Thank you very much. Do appreciate it. Do appreciate it. Trump is spreading imaginary. Trump is spreading imaginary. Yeah. I don't even know if it's imaginary anymore. I don't know. I can't tell. I've been hoodwinked too many times. My head's spinning, you know? I've had both eyes hoodwinked, you know what I mean? We read Chaos in Candace's book club. Oh, really? Wow. See, I've been thinking about joining her book club for a while, but I'm always like, oh, I think it'd be weird. Like, you know, it's like, you know, like I'm a creator and stuff. Like like she'd think I was like coming in there to like get intel or something like that. It's really not. I'm really interested in that book club. It's crazy, you guys. So you guys read Chaos? Yeah, there you go. Chaos is a big one. That's a big one. You take Chaos and you take Weird Scenes in Laurel Canyon. You read both of those together. It really spells out what's going on in the world today. Really spells it out. Limitless. I think that says Limitless Libra. I think, or Libro. Congratulations. And if you guys decide to have more children, there are wonderful nurse midwives and physicians that will do a VBAC for you. I don't know what that is. My wife for sure knows what that is. She's looked at everything. Yeah, midwives are good. Midwives are solid thing to get if you can. I mean, it's and you know, for whatever, I don't know. Sometimes if you're in a place where healthcare is free, then your midwife could be free as well. A lot of people don't know that. They don't know that they have that option to get a midwife. But yeah, we had one for our first kid and it was great. Right up until the end, me and my wife were in the hospital for about, I don't know, almost 72 hours. And we're just living off of like fast food and stuff. And the midwife at one point, because we wanted to go, my wife was good to go, I was good to go, and the baby hadn't peed yet. I think it was pee. Yeah, because I was changing diapers, but the baby hadn't peed yet. And this midwife suggested, she's like, well, you guys can go. Midwife's not even here, by the way. Midwife, literally, we had the kid, midwife leaves 10 minutes after. Like, literally 10 minutes after. She didn't like a lot of choices we were making with, certain things that we didn't want to do to the kid. So the midwife had a little issue with that. So the midwife leaves. We called the midwife. We're like, why can't we go? And the kid has to pee. We weren't told this. So I'm having a fight with the midwife. I'm like, you didn't tell us this. And if you had told us this, we would have prepared differently, obviously. And we would have kept the diapers because we don't actually know if the kid peed or not. You know, we don't have the diapers to inspect. But then the midwife suggests, you guys can leave and the baby can stay because the baby's under my jurisdiction. It's like, oh, you're fired. I didn't realize. I was so confused. You're fired now. So that's it. I was pissed. My wife had to take the phone from me. I don't get like this with I'm not like, I don't flip out in public and stuff like that, especially with a lady, but I was pissed. And especially because she suggested that we leave the baby. It was a newborn baby. Like, what are you talking about? And I was really mad. And then my wife was like calmly like, we're going to have to my wife's like very calm. You know, she's like management material and stuff. She's been a manager for a long time. She's like, we're going to have to disengage. Our relationship is going to end here. And I'm like, yeah, you tell her this fucking relationship. I was pissed. So that was my experience with a midwife. So I didn't like that one, but I do know that they're good. They're really good. Really good field. Only problem with Diddy/Twigs analogy is Lance would probably volunteer versus it being a threat. Congrats on the new edition, sending lessons. I don't know. See, that's the thing with Lance. You don't even know if he was really like that. You don't know. These people, these assets, I mean, there's an agent who's in the agency. He was. And he was telling a story about how he had to lie for months about being gay. He had to go on dates with guys, all sorts of stuff, weird stuff. They do whatever they have to do to get things done, they'll do it. So who knows? You could be right, but who knows? If he's actually an asset, he'll do whatever he needs to do. Anyway, Coach sent you an email, hoping you got it, but also know you're busy and tired. Congrats on baby. There's nothing like it. I had 2 C-sections, so I know what she's going through. Give Mama, Coach, some extra love from me. Thank you so much. I can hear her mother. Her mother's here. I can hear her. So she's good right now. She probably feels really good, I will email you because YouTube is traded and doesn't want you to know. Okay, send me an email. I think you did. I'm pretty sure I got an email if it was you. I've received a few emails since I started. Yeah, send me an email. You guys know the email. Coach Colin 3@gmail.com. That is the email. Send things there. Not links, though. Not links. I don't click links, you know. Trump, I make people feel better. Also, Trump. I am a doctor. I make people feel much better. Hold on a second. The phone. Hold on. I will destroy your entire civilization. I'm not kidding around, okay? I'll murder everybody. I'll murder everybody. So I tell people I am a really good healer. I'm really a good healing guy. I mean, a lot of people think I'm crazy. I'm not crazy, okay? Yep, that's him. That's him. You know, it's funny when a spell wears off of someone. It's like this in relationships too. It's like that with him too. When the spell wears off, you go, "Oh, this person's a moron." Isn't that funny? The spell wears off and you just go, "Oh, this person is a dingbat. What was I thinking? What did I see in this person?" That ever happened to you? You know, past relationship, and then you look at the person, you're like, "Oh, that was ridiculous of me. This person's terrible on the inside." You know what I mean? That's exactly what I'm going through. I hear him say things now, and I'm like, this is stupid. I'm like, was I laughing at this before? This is dumb. This is crazy. Maybe it's ramped up more from the first term. I don't know, but this is nuts. Anyway. The old lady was probably Cabot's grandmother. Left her to approach Candace. He left her and let her fall on the ground. Just so he could walk up to Candace and show his bottom lip, you know? Like a real bottom. Like a real bottom type. Arkham raised? Oh, now I get that name. I didn't get that name before. I get it now. He's got a book called Trump's 10 Commandments. Absolutely no, he does not. Absolutely no, he does not. Hold on a second. No, he does not. No, he doesn't. Trump's 10 Commandments. Oh my God. All right, fine. Jeez. I didn't believe that for a hot second. That is a real book. Oh my God. I can't. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Well, yeah, hoodwinked. What can I say? Big Daddy Waller marked safe from baby oil. That is an important distinction to make for people. Everybody should know who's marked safe from baby oil. Check DM Chinita. Which DM? You can't just say DM. Is it Instagram? Is it most people message on Instagram. A lot of people don't like X. I see why, but it's funny. That is crazy that it cost me $50 to let you know that you had options. Free speech America. What do you mean? What did you mean? Discernment is a gift of the Holy Spirit. Yes. Very true. Very, very true. You know, I think about that conversation I had with Zach Costello all the time now, because he was talking about how, like, my dad didn't do much for me. I didn't know my dad at all. I feel like we only met like a handful of times, and then we reconnected, and then he had cancer, and then he died, and then that was it. It was just like okay, that was like a blur. But he got me baptized when I was a baby, and Zach was like, you know, he's like, that's a powerful thing. He goes, all the things that have happened to you, it's because of that one moment. Like he didn't do much for you, but he did that, and that's like a really deep, good thing to have done. And I'm like, man, that's so true. Like I didn't realize that. And I've always had, and you know, I was talking about it with my coach. My coach is a devout Catholic as well. And he's like, yeah, it seals you. He's like, it keeps the Holy Spirit with you. And then you say discernment is like a gift of the Holy Spirit. And I've always had very good discernment. Very, very good discernment in times when it counted. You know, politics, it doesn't, you know, it's not going to end your life or anything. But in times where it could have ended my life if I chose left versus right, I've always had that discernment with people, with everything. It's always been there. It's really weird. I shouldn't even say it's weird. It's beautiful. Nature Man. Hey, coach, what better way to bring people together than to make us all mad at Trump? That's not my intention. I don't know. Is that the psyop that's happening? I don't know. I didn't mean to do that. Riley loses it over a man acting like a woman, but is okay with Trump acting like Jesus. Wow, that is... that's a good point. That is a good point. That is a touche. Yep. That's a good point. That's a really good point. That is a very good point. Good point. Well said. That is funny. That's actually really funny. That's something you could say on stage. You say that around the right. You say that joke in Portland. Yeah, standing ovation. You say that joke in Portland. Whoa, how many got added here? Jeez, got to go all the way up. Whoa, thank you guys so much. Yeah, that's a good. You say that joke in Portland, they'll stand up and applaud you. You kidding me? That's crazy. That is a good point. Good point. Octo Jofo JR. I love doctors who heal with light from their hands. That's the kind of doctor. That's the kind of doctor you want. You know, he doesn't have to go get any equipment. He has it on him. That's, you know, what other kind of doctor could you want? You know. Oh my God, the Tucker laugh into the Mickey Mouse headphone bit. Spit out my food. Laughed so hard, I scared my animals and started to cough. Dang. Near wet my pants. You're the best. God bless you and your family. Thank you so much, Circle Being. I love hearing that. You know, as you said the Tucker laugh, I realized I was doing that. My mother-in-law might have heard that because they don't really know what I do. They kind of do, but they don't, you know. And now she hears that, and it's like that's what's taking care of her daughter. What can you do? But yeah, that's a good bit. That's a good bit. What can I say? I really want to do live shows, guys. I really am going to work on getting a tour date. I have to like find someone who's like a tour manager and like figure out how that works. Cause I really want to do these shows live, man. Like I love when I was doing videos that were just standalone half-hour videos. I like doing it because I'd see the comments and people really thought it was funny, but I love doing this live. And I know I would love even more to actually have the people, you guys, like in front of me. I would love that. And I think you guys would love it too if you guys were there. I really want to do that. Really want to get that going. That's one of my like goals for like 2026. It's a scary goal, but really, really love it. And we'll do that. Hill Q Hippie. Happy 40th birthday. Congrats on the new kiddo. Working overnights and watching you since October. This char limit is BS. Oh, the character limit is BS. Much love from Savannah GA. How much is the character limit? I've never had to do it before. I've never hit the limit before. I think I've only sent one super chat. I think I sent one to Candace. And I was like, please ask Andrew. Like when she went to that meeting, I was like, please ask him what he meant by it was supposed to be you. Like that is something that we should know about this by now. That's a really big thing. Like it's kind of weird that she hasn't really like pushed into that and been like, what did you mean? Tell me what you meant and where you heard it from. Like, isn't that a big thing? I don't know. Maybe she knows already. She doesn't want to say. Star Studio, they live as snake eyes. They live as snake eyes wide shut. Hollywood. Yup. Well said. Well put together. That's exactly it. Talking about politicians there. Lucy Lou. Thank you so much, Lucy Lou. Appreciate you. Thanks for covering the cover-ups. Go Web. Yeah, I gotta get on here. I know people are talking about me taking a break, but I actually want to go harder. I want to go on Kick. And I just want to read the files, man. I really want to do that. Like for like an hour at a time, then post it on Spotify. We're on Spotify, by the way. Oh, and Jessica, who I was talking to you guys about, who almost made me cry a little bit just now. She's a Spotify listener. I didn't even know. That was the reason. She was like, how can I support? And I was like, well, I use Buy Me a Coffee. And then all of a sudden she just dropped gallons of coffee on me, you know, dipped me in coffee. Gracie's in the garden. TMZ is getting paid to weed out the Congress people that don't support the agenda. Allegedly, maybe, perhaps. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I can't trust the TMZ. And it sounds silly, but like if you look into what they do with like Wendy Williams, it's like, what's going on here? Like, why are you? I'm telling you, it was such a weird. they're interviewing Wendy Williams, okay? Wendy Williams says a lot. You know, she's like the Black Joan Rivers. That's what she was like. You remember Joan Rivers said something, and all of a sudden she passed away, like soon after she said that thing about Michelle Obama. You remember? And Wendy Williams was very much like that. And she was talking about Beyonce, and she was talking about a bunch of things that a regular TV show host wouldn't talk about. She was really willing to call things out because she was an old school radio host. So she was always willing to just call out the BS. Charlemagne the God of the Breakfast Club came up under her. The first job he got was assisting her, you know, being on her show. That's where he learned to be the way that he is. So she was really good at calling people out. And she'd call out Beyonce, and she'd call out all these different huge names. And then all of a sudden, one day, she's dressed as a Statue of Liberty, which is very odd because if you look into the Statue of Liberty, it's actually not a lady. It's actually something way darker. Maybe you could get into that in another episode. But the Statue of Liberty is not quite what it seems. It's more a cult than you would think. It's not really a gift. It's more like a beacon of what the country would be under. It was from France. It's very weird. But she's dressed as a Statue of Liberty, and all of a sudden she just goes, and she just passes out. And then all of a sudden it was like they were saying she had some kind of dementia. And it didn't seem like she did. She seemed just fine. But then all of a sudden it was like she didn't have control over her money, over any type of her finances, over her life. And then the next thing you know, she's like in this hotel room trapped, and she's not allowed to leave. And the only people who are allowed to interview her are TMZ. And she's talking to TMZ. Harvey, that guy who was in the files, she's talking to that guy, and she has her hand on the window of the hotel room, and it's like she's in a cage, and she can't come out, and she's like, I want to go out. She wanted to go see someone, and she's talking to this guy, TMZ, and I'm like, oh, these guys are handlers. These guys, this is not a news organization. This is a Hollywood starlet and star actor and actress handler ring. They put out the stories that keep you in line. That's what they are. To me, that's what they seem like. So, I don't know. I don't trust them. I don't trust them at all. It was weird how they handled. And they did the same thing to Britney Spears. Weird stuff, man. They're really, really weird people. So I don't trust those guys at all. Not even slightly. So, I'm going to do that. TMZ. Yeah, they're weird. They're very weird. Weird outlet. Anyway. But yes, that makes sense. They would do that, especially with the top guy at TMZ being in some kind of document, and nobody's been talking about that much. It's weird, kind of weird, right? Anyway, Lucy Liu, the pick of Jesus Trump was intentional to see who in his office would call him so they know who's really Team Philly and who they need to get rid of. Yes, I've talked about this. I think on Friday or Thursday. There is a tactic that people use. It is done in politics. It is done in the creator space. It is done in cults where they get more and more ridiculous in an attempt to weed out the critical thinkers. Because the people who accept him doing that, what he did, well, he knows that he can kind of push on their faith. He's in priority, he's almost above their faith. He knows. And even if he's neck and neck with it, that's still pretty dang good, right? So he's weeding out all the people who are going to stand up and say something. There's a lot of regimes, back when the Soviet Union was absolutely terrible, communist, they had this first wave of people. And the first wave of people were like the blue-haired types, right? The blue hairs and the green hairs and the wild radical people, radical, like far left, right? That's what they were like. And they have these people, and these people would start uprisings and eventually start revolts. And then when the new people would take power, you know what the first thing they would do is? They would get rid of those people that got them in office to begin with, that got them the revolution they needed so they could take power. The first thing they would do is get rid of those people. And it actually got to the point where those same people were so into the movement, it was so ingrained in them, it was so important to them that they would say things as they were being sent to like work camps. They would say, this is only going to strengthen my belief in the cause. I'm going to work hard and I'm going to come back and like they would think of it as a good thing. That's what they do. They take power and then they figure out who they have to get rid of, because the same people who got them into power, think about Trump. The same people who got him into power, you can't just have those people around. Candace Owens is going to call you out. Megyn Kelly, Tucker, all of these people are going to call you out. You can't have that. So you have to eventually push hard enough that they say something and then you push them out. And that's what he's attempting to do right now. And if you hear what I'm saying and you watch him, you will see it happening more and more and more. Because who cares about having the critical thinkers when you could have 5 million people and half of them are critical thinkers in your ranks, in your support group? Or you could have 2 million people who will follow you no matter what you say or do. Like which is more important? Which is more valuable to a leader? It's the ones that will support them no matter what. He's getting to a point where all of his supporters are people who, if he said, I'm going for a third term, they'd say, okay, let's do this. Yeah, you got to test the waters in different ways. Anyway, a little TED talk there. Sorry for my brief TED talk there. I do apologize, but I do think that's a real thing. I really do. Anyway, let's keep going. Let's keep going here. We got more. Allegedly, maybe, and perhaps. Is that what that says? And perhaps? Probably. Congratulations on Coach Junior. Good job, Mrs. Coach. Thanks for being an example on a adoring husband and father. An example on a adoring husband and father. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It is truly the most important thing. It is the one thing I've always wanted to do in my whole life, is be a husband and a father. Shucky Ducky, quack, quack. You know about Shucky Ducky? Congratulations on your growing family. Prayers to you and your family and your kids, your wife and your kids. Happy belated birthday, Coach. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you guys. Alleged, maybe, and perhaps you can shorten your time for paternity leave. Also, we aren't doing a Mint Club baby shower. Is there an Amazon list, please? We all want to give. Please, for us, give us the URL Mint Baby. You know, my wife's been looking into it, looking in how to do it and like keep it private and stuff. But I don't know. She hasn't. Well, she's like a little overwhelmed right now, so I can't expect her to handle anything technical right now. But yeah, I guess I might be able to figure out how it's done. I just wanted to show you and your mod some love. I've been around Danks, but wanted to show you love, and I'm not disloyal. Congrats on the baby. Thank you so much. Christy Hughes, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Christy. Appreciate that. Allegedly, Danks is somebody I should probably have on the show too. Conversations. I'm thinking about having a conversation every week, and I think I know enough people, and enough people know me now that they will actually come on the show. I think it was hard before. Couldn't get people to sit and talk with me. To everyone, Coach, put Barron on the map. Coach is too humble to say, I love Barron. I love how you all support each other. Trigger needs some love. Yeah, see, like I was just talking about conversations. Like I could have Trigger on and talk to him about stuff and learn about him. And learn about what he thinks about all this, you know? And, you know, I was definitely the first person on here, you know, even on X, because X is like, I think even Dom reposted Barron. But like they didn't find his name. Like nobody was using his name. They were just like Google Trends. And I was like, who is this guy who's doing this? And I found his name finally. And I went to his channel. I was like, wow, this guy just has 1,000 subscribers. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, I hope this guy makes videos. Because I'm always thinking like, you know, this is a business, you know. I was like, I hope this guy starts making videos. I'm like, he needs to start making videos because this is about to go crazy. And I looked at it and he only had like 4 videos. He had like some videos that were like, I don't know, they were just like whatever. And then the live streams, there was like 3. And then the Google Trends one, I was like, oh, this is going to get crazy. And it did. I was so surprised. I was like, wow, I didn't think it'd go crazy so fast. But I was like one of the first. I was like, this guy's Baron Coleman. I'm like, this is his YouTube channel. I don't know what episode it was. I'm pretty sure he had like 1,015 subscribers or something like that. It was something crazy. It was something just like insane for what he was doing. I was like, oh, this is nuts. And now look at him. Now look at him. Imagine Theo Von walks up during the lip flash. Theo Von, he would say something like, you got some pizza on your lip, buddy. Hey, buddy, you know you got a bunch of pizza on your lip? What's going on, Candace? That he'd say something like that. And then he'd say Free Palestine. And then Cabot would start screaming, and he'd run away. Because a man showed up, you know? Because he's soft. That's what would happen for sure. Lance sends out a membership. Sends it out there. Roberta Bloom, new baby fund matched. Oh, man, jeez. Let's keep going. Ashley Tomasi. Ashley Tomasi. I'd love to hear a discussion of the possibility of Erica being used in that demonic way. To be honest, it would make sense. Yeah, she looks like it. She looks like it. Some people, you usually see it with like, and not to say this about homeless people, obviously, but you usually see it with those types where you go, oh man, this is crazy. This is like a crazy looking person in their eyes. You see that a lot with, you'll watch an Instagram video. Maybe it's a homeless guy. Maybe it's just a crazy person. Maybe it's a street preacher and someone runs up, out of nowhere, someone comes up to the street preacher and starts trying to taunt him all weirdly demonic like. But yeah, she looks like that. She has those type of eyes. Really crazy eye. I'm really good with the eyes. I don't know. Maybe it's that discernment, Holy Spirit discernment. I don't know. But I've always been good at looking someone in the eye and being like, oh, I can't trust that person. Or, oh, that person's nuts. Like they're willing to do things that I've always been really good with that. And she has those same eyes. She has crazy eyes. Lucy Lou, diaper match. Because you know why they're crazy? Because even when she's happy, they don't look good. There's certain people when they smile, you're like, oh, those are happy eyes. Her eyes still look crazy when she's smiling, when she's laughing. So, allegedly, maybe and perhaps. Last note, Coach coined battle bun. FYI, I just need to put my 2 cents in. Sorry, not sorry. You're just airing out all my grievances. You're just like, what this guy's doing? He's doing the Kanye West thing. Taylor Swift is on stage and he's just like, I'm gonna let all of y'all speak in the super chats, but I just gotta say one thing. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you. Granny Manny, hey coach, first super, congratulations on the baby. There's nothing better. Yeah, that's what Baron was saying to me the other day. He's like, holding a baby is just the best thing. Because I sent him a picture of me and I was just holding the baby. And he's like, that's the best feeling. Yeah, and it really is. It's crazy. It gives you a weird amount of energy. I said it before, it's like if you woke me up at 3 a.m. for no reason, I'd be pissed. But even just laying in bed, because it's harder for the wife to get up. So if I'm like awake, or even if I'm like half awake and the baby starts crying right away, I'm like, you want me to get, I'll get the baby. So then I'll bring the baby to her so she can feed the baby. So because I don't want her to have to like fight to get up. But sometimes I'm knocked out, but if she woke me up, I'd have no problem. I'd be like, oh, okay, it's the baby. It's cool. All right, let's go. It's a weird thing what it does to you. Better late than never. Diaper match. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Maddie's mama. Hello, Maddie's mama. How you doing? Thank you so much. Says nothing. Quiet, Maddie's mama. Gracie's in the garden. Hit that like button. Pointing at you. Hit that like button. Hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Helps the channel tremendously. You have no idea. Sends us to another stratosphere. Makes YouTube push us out to a larger audience. And as we get pushed out to a larger audience, we'll have more concurrent viewers. The community will grow, and that would help. That would help us tremendously. Diaper fund. This boomer learns from you daily. Much love. Ivan is Ivan. Thank you so much. Honestly, you have learned a lot because I didn't think you were a boomer at all. I thought you were a young guy. I literally thought you were like a 20-year-old guy. Making everyone laugh daily at work / wherever fund. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Legos, our gov took them down. They were epic. I feel like I did see that. I feel like I did see that Lego video. I feel like I did see that. Oh, a bunch jump in here. Hold on. Up to the top. What does this say? Cabrano, happy birthday to you and baby. One thing that confuses me, how could Charlie be 2028 VP before he turned 35? I don't know about that. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you need to be 35, but that was what they had planned. The administration had that planned. Or was it 2028? Because he was, what, 31 when he died? How old do you have to be vice president? There was a whole article about it and everything, which is weird. Yeah, you got to be 35. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they would have swung that. Maybe they just would have lied. Imagine. Maybe instead of Erica lying all the time, it just would have been this one Charlie lie. I've been to Laurel Canyon. My father is a famous musician, Larry Kenshotel, who was inbred. Are you saying in something called bread, or are you saying inbred? What are you saying? But I was 2, but met Charlie. Who was? Hold on a second. Let me see this. See this name here. Who's your dad? Oh shoot, you're not lying. Look at that. Grammy Award winner and legendary member. Wow. Okay. Key member of the Wrecking Crew, Los Angeles-based collection studio musicians who rewrote pop music history in the 1960s and 70s, as well as member of the multi-platinum selling group Bread. Beyond that, he was also a Grammy Award-winning arranger, producer, and solo artist. Few musicians can equal the breadth, depth, and quality of his experience. Larry performed and recorded with a broad range of artists that represent who's who of pop and rock. Just to name a few: the Beach Boys, Ray Charles, Dwayne Eddy, what's that say? Fats Demio, Elvis Costello, Billy Joel, Simon and Garfunkel, The Fifth Dimension, Dolly Parton, Steppenwolf, The Doors, The Byrds, The Mama and the Papas, Elvis Presley, what the Hank Williams Jr., David Gates, Neil Diamond, David Mason, Harry Nielsen, Poco, Johnny Rogers, I'm Weisberg, Randy Norman. Wow. What the what? That's crazy. And this is like just a website that's literally just dedicated to your dad. If you didn't know, it's literally just him. That's the website. That's crazy. That's the website. That's crazy. That's nuts. Okay. Well, I believe you. I have to believe you. Wow, he has worked with some people. Get out of here. What are we talking about right now? Wow. Come on. What? Wow. This is crazy. Wow, this is like whole discography. It is crazy. This go like I could just super fast scroll and just keep going. This is crazy. This is nuts. How many people did he work with? Tom Scott, Jerry Garcia, Johnny Rivers, Neil Diamond, Phil Krager, The Monkees, Bread, Jimmy Webb, Paul Simon. What the James Griffin, Art Garfunkel. Wow. David Gates, Hank Williams Jr. That's incredible. Art Garfunkel. Diana Ross? Wow. This is absolutely nuts. Paul Simon. Come on. Are you kidding me? The Byrds. Mason Williams. Various artists. Elvis Costello. This is nuts. Your dad's like Rick Rubin. Basically. This guy's Rick Rubin before Rick Rubin came around. All the way into the 90s. Wow. Laura White. Rory Block. Doc Watson. Don Michael Phillip. Elvis Costello. Elvis Presley. The Monkees. So you're in the Illuminati, right? That's what I get from this, right? This is how I sum that up. You're in the Illuminati, lady. Huh? How long you been in the Illuminati for? That's all that tells me. How long you been in the Illuminati? And how much do they pay? Is there really baby oil everywhere? How do you escape the baby oil when you're in Hollywood? Can you tell us, Christy Hughes? Anyway, that's crazy. My father's a famous musician. That was crazy. That's crazy. Anyway, that's a lot. that was a lot. YT. Oh, thank you, David J. 2 lucky kiddos so far, Mrs. Coach. Thank you so much. 2 so far. That's right. We're going for another one. For the mods, Christy Hughes. For the mods, Christy Hughes. Christy is our Illuminati representative. Thank you so much for attending today. Send all your fellow Illuminati people. Send them all the hand signals that they're used to receiving. Send them those hand signals for us. Christy spins C-section 9 days late, 38 hours back labor. Midwife threw up outside the hospital because my ex was doing 65 in a 25 and she couldn't come to the apartment my first day of labor because she didn't have daycare. Whoa. Yeah, see? Yeah, you gotta see where you get them from too. You gotta make sure the place is like pretty solid. That's crazy. Yeah, my wife was, I think, first one before we went into emergency C-section. I think my wife was in labor for like, I think 50 hours, because we were at home. Then we went to the hospital because they cleared us to go to the hospital. And then we were there for a day of, I think it was like almost a day. Yeah, I think it was like close to 50 hours, something like that. It was a lot. It was a lot of time. And then they were like, oh, we just got to do a C-section right now. Yeah, it was very scary. Very, very scary. But everything was all right. Mike Riley, what's up, man? CP too tall to be that damn zesty. Cabin Phillips is too tall to be that damn zesty. Yeah, you know what I mean? You're what? He's like, what, 6'3", 6'2", something like that? You pulling down your lip? You can't be doing that. Bottom lip? Anyway, you guys know how I feel about this guy. Ms. Chris Viz, thank you so much. Very generous of you. Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for Coach Colin and all the laughter he brings us. Please always bless his family with peace and good health, and always protect them from all the evil and any harm. We ask you do this through Christ our Lord. Amen. And congrats. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Amen. Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate that. What is this? Isaacs? It says it like it's supposed to be Isaac. It's like you misspelled Isaac. Sakasas. Off topic. Did you see the vid on X where astronauts weren't showing up on people's screens when they were taking picture/videos before taking off? Holograms? ? Don't get me started on that. I don't know what they were doing. I don't know what they were doing. Maybe they went, you know? Maybe they just went to the ocean. I don't know. It seems like they just kind of go to the ocean. Sometimes, I don't know. You know? It seems like they just land in the water. That's what it seems like. I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't there. I couldn't tell you. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much. Really do appreciate you guys. All of the support is very, very, very appreciated. I'm sorry to jump into this part of your day. I know we usually do this in the morning. Thank you guys so much for being here through the afternoon, almost into the evening. We're almost into Candace territory right now, where Candace is going to be jumping in very soon. Somebody bought 5 coffees. Thank you so much for the coffees. They're always appreciated. It just says someone. It's anonymous. Thank you. We do appreciate you. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I do appreciate all the support. Right now, it's been very hard, been very tiring, but it is all worth it because it is for my family. And then when I get on here, it is for my family as well, but it's also for you guys. And I do appreciate you guys so much. And I don't like to leave you guys hanging. So I had to make sure to show up as I always do. So love you guys. Thank you so much. I will be back tomorrow. We will do it in the morning tomorrow, as we always do. And just thank you. Thank you so much for the support.